Hey folks, Quilly-Keen here, and welcome to our Wednesday live stream, where today we're playing Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Please let me know if the microphone audio is okay or not. I am sitting quite a bit further away from my microphone as I normally am, so I've boosted the audio to hopefully make it pick up okay, because I've got my yoke set up and everything here, ready to go. Slightly tinier Quill, slight hint of missing green screen. There we are. Let's see how it goes. Hope they fixed the server stuff. Yesterday was miserable. Yeah, so this sort of sits up there with worst launch of a game with a, mandatory online component since maybe SimCity 5. It was pretty tragic. The fact of the matter is, and this was the same case in Microsoft 2020. Microsoft 2020, you could play somewhat offline, but all the high-res maps, high-quality maps like the world geometry and stuff like that really were, even in 2020, meant to be streamed in real time. They have petabytes of data for the entire world. Having that on your local computer is not really possible. They've taken it slightly further with this version even, where other assets like airplanes and stuff were also part of the streaming mechanic and different things like that. I don't know, whatever they did yesterday on launch, apparently they had some sort of, it wasn't the cloud servers per se, but like their caching system somewhere along the way that basically made it that even though the game launched yesterday, and I actually was able to get in right away, and I flew around for about an hour, and then at some point the game crashed, and when I reloaded, I, just like basically everyone else, got stuck in sort of a queue, but it was a queue that never moved, effectively for about 12 hours post-launch, no, longer than that. Because it went live at 11 a.m. my local time. I think it was around 1 a.m., just after midnight, when the game sort of came online again and became playable once more. So yesterday was kind of a disastrous launch. I haven't had any issues loading the game today. I did get one hang or crash of the software earlier, where I had to go into Task Manager to kill it. And there's some in-game stuff that is definitely on kind of the buggy side in its current state. And we'll talk about some of those things, but that's not really uncommon on the launch of a game so big and complex as this. There's a couple of things that I am kind of annoyed about, like even now, 4 years later, you can't see your current active sim rate on screen, so if you use time acceleration, you don't know how the time is accelerated or not, or if you're back to 1x speed or anything, so that's a little frustrating. But yeah, and there's some other things too, like if we go and to, let's say we want to start a flight over here, this menu, we were just talking about this with the recent game, everything is big, chunky. To me, this is like, listen, I know this also releases on the console, but so did the last version. Like, why can't these things be a little bit smaller so we can see more at once? What's the other thing? Over here in the control screen, same sort of thing. Like, if you're trying to set your controls for, say, your keyboard here, why are these, like, giant, massive categories that, you've got to scroll a ton? You can only see about 4 options, sometimes a 5th option at a time. And then, you click on it, and then you get further submenu. And this is fine. This is, whatever. But yeah, I was like, that's a little bit weird. But overall, so things are nice. Actually, one of my biggest complaints is that the landscapes are much more realistic now. Whereas, and I just did a test, especially yesterday since I couldn't play this game. I loaded up 2020 and I did my favorite little test flight. My favorite little practice comfort flight that I do all the time is this lovely little flight from Manitoulin East Municipal Airport over to the Sudbury Airport right over there. Nice little flight. You're a little under an hour in the air. It's very nice and relaxing, new at VFR. It's all the landscape that I know. In Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, if there wasn't actively like below zero snow or anything like that, everything's very green and vibrant. And that is not the case right now. And indeed, in 2024, they get it correct. But right now, when we fly around, the ground is like brown and devoid of greenery, which does make it look pretty miserable, actually, but it's very accurate. The guy's not made for touchscreens. Yeah, no one's playing this on touchscreen. It's like, I don't know, it's a little weird. And then there's stuff that I'm still getting used to. Like, if we were to set up a route here, like let's say I want to plug in my route, In 2020, I'd have like options over here for choosing, well, am I doing a direct GPS? Am I doing VOR-to-VOR? Am I doing low or high airways and things? And I was like, where's that option? Well, I guess now we've got this electronic flight bag over here, which for some reason continuously defaults to small. I'll keep it medium so it's a little bit bigger. And this is where we can do our flight planning happens in here instead. Which is kind of interesting. And this is accessible inside the game as well. So that changes things quite a bit. I was having some difficulty with this, with trying to make this work. I did a little Airbus A320 Neo flight just before the stream, and like the send route to avionics didn't seem to work. Now, I was doing it inside the sim as opposed to this screen, and I think partially what doesn't help is that the A320 has its own tablet separate from this one. Like, this is still accessible in there, but it has its own tablet with some of its own mechanics. Like, I wasn't able to use it either for calculating the weights. For take, oh, it's not here. That's under this tab here. The flight performance, you can use this environment thing theoretically to calculate like takeoff and landing speeds, for example. But it seems really weird. Like, again, here, I mean, technically that's not where I'm taking off. I'm taking off from here. There's just the one runway. We're going to leave probably that way, dry. And I'm going to say I'm going to go flaps 1. It's like, see, it like doesn't refresh right away. And then if you click on like landing and then take off over here, then stuff kind of comes in, but it's still not calculating my takeoff speeds. So it feels like this is something that's supposed to be happening over here. There's not like a button to say, go, calculate, do it. So, yeah, I don't know. Oh, look, and I set my flaps to 0, and then it goes to no available data for some reason. So I don't know. So there's definitely some things that will need to be adjusted. But I'm still very excited. In particular, I'm excited to try career mode because I love flying with a purpose. I've used third-party career tools before. I suspect third-party career tools will not stop existing because they do tend to add like lots of like virtual airways types of stuff. And I don't know if the career mode is going to have as much of this. So I was probably going to jump directly into career mode, but if people wanted, we could do a little random trial flight somewhere. But I think maybe we jump straight into career mode and see what it's like, because that is the new hotness. Yeah, V1, V2 seems important. No, yeah, well, and the rotation speed, you know, that was pretty good. Fly to Petri one day. So if you do go into career mode, it does ask you for what airport you want to start at as your home airport, which is actually an interesting little question to ask. I could choose my actual hometown, and then I could do, you know, use it as part of an excuse to give you a tour around, or we could start an air in Scotland, or we could do something in Belgium, or I don't know, Southern Italy, or, you know, we could pick different places to be from. Pick Elm, that's an easy one. Vancouver Island. Eyes of a Pilot. I don't think there's any beard options, unfortunately. I did my best. I think he doesn't look anything like me, but there were limited options, and it's not that important, is it? Oh, Vans in Brittany, like in our CK3 run. Everest nice to time around. Vote for the funniest 3-letter airport codes. I can't. There are a few funny ones, but I don't think I can think of them immediately of what they are. Is there a random start? Looks like the answer to that is no. You know what, if we're going to be flying in real time, and I don't think there's going to be a training phase first, so I think for that, they just do daylight with perfect weather. It's nighttime over here in ERP, so maybe I will fly at home for this, since I can't quite decide. Let's go and do that. Now, the actual Sudbury, proper, like, sort of main airport is this one over here, CYSB. It is actually not an option to start at home here. There's the option of airports you can choose are these smaller ones. So I've actually never interacted with the Sudbury Coniston Airport over here, CSC9, in any way whatsoever, but I guess we're going to go and do that. And then see what kind of training stuff it's going to give us. Now, I did try to load this yesterday, and this is the thing that actually caused the game to crash, but it was because at the time yesterday, it was having problems, everyone was having problems retrieving all their proper planes, and the starter airplane they set you in this is the Cessna 172, and that wasn't that wasn't in my library. It hadn't streamed to my computer, so I think that's what caused the crash when I went in. But everything seems to be okay in there right now. So let's do this. Sudbury Coniston Airport. Now, am I going to be clipping into the ground again?
Hello there.
Oh, they didn't show the walk-up.
182, right?
Yep, Quill 182. I think Quill 18 was an account that may have been originally made by me on the Xbox Games network, but like a billion years ago and I lost the password, or someone else did it, I don't know. So yes, I'm Quill 182.
Welcome to Sudbury/Coniston Airport. I'm Francis, the owner of this aero club.
You guys can hear the voices okay? I don't think they're quite as loud as me, but I think that's probably the balance we want. You love my old man? That's what I think of every time I see Quill 182. It's quiet. The sounds, okay. I can't tweak it right this moment, unfortunately. Oh, well, because we don't have access to menus, but we'll have to wait until we get through this. All right.
Here at the club, we provide all the training lessons you need to get started and earn your private pilot license. Then, once you've earned your PPL, you can build up your flight hours and get more experience by taking people out on first flights. But before any of that, let's head outside and take a flight to get familiar with our aircraft and the local surroundings.
Didn't realize it was Coniston, Canada too. Oh, where are you from that there's a Coniston? Yeah, I think these are AI generated voices, which is why it says Quill 18. I don't think they're pre-recorded because they're meant to be flexible because they can do all kinds of different airports. So this is going to be, I got at least this far when I hit the thing before it crashed. It's going to showcase the fact that you can walk around outside your plane. And in fact, you will... Yeah, I think it's hung again. I guess we're not going into training mode. We'll give it a beat. I can check to see if it happens to be streaming something in the background. Microsoft Flight Simulator, 0% CPU, 0% disk, 0% network. Yeah, I don't think it's doing anything. Oh, and now it officially crashed. It just vanished. Okay, I guess we're going to do a free flight. No error message, no anything. Maybe the hang part, maybe it was generating a crash report to send to Microsoft in the background. One can only hope. So it is going to take a minute or two to load the game. I see they included the Cloud Strike part of career mode. Yeah, I mean, I'm just playing with my Xbox Game Pass subscription. I can't imagine being one of the people who dropped like $200 on the deluxe edition of this or anything like that and couldn't play all day yesterday and maybe or maybe not can play today. I mean, I could try to load the career mode again, maybe pick a different airport. Maybe there's something inherently glitched with the airport I chose. Maybe that's part of the problem. Yeah, well, what I'll do is I'll delete the career data. I'll try to load it again. We'll go to the airport near air. I don't know which airport it will be because again, it seems to have a different sort of subgroup of stuff, but yeah. Which price strike surprised me, it just doesn't. Yeah, I mean, they do include like a ridiculous amount of airplanes that you don't necessarily... I am a little sad that the base version of the game just has the G1000 version of the Cessna 172, which is much more modern and great and wonderful, don't get me wrong. But I like the old like little hydraulic gauge version or whatever. I don't know if hydraulic gauge is quite correct, but yeah, just the gauge and needles kind of version of it. And that is, I mean, you can pick it up individually on the store once it becomes active, or yeah, you can get the more deluxe edition, but yeah, sort of analog. Yeah, because it's sort of a mid-game, because you play the Cessna 152, which is in the game, is totally analog. like no digital displays whatsoever, no autopilot, no nothing. And then you have the 172 with the full, like effectively full glass cockpit. But yeah, the sort of analog in between 172 with the smaller GPSs, smaller, more limited GPSs are and autopilot are kind of nice. The airport near air, the airport, if you will. Wow. Yeah, the TBM is still in. So the TBM 930, which is really lovely to fly, is still in the game. Is really good. Okay, let me go here. Let me just make sure it doesn't have that. Yep, I want to delete my career, reset my career. Okay. I don't think it was in there yet, so I think it's probably fine. So we're going to go career mode. We're going to try Scotland this time. Boop. So if we head... Oh, I don't see an airport that is playable on the map right near here. Looks like we've got one in Cumbernauld. I mean, it would be fun to go through like a bunch of the Highlands and stuff like that, right? Over here in Fife. That's not bad. Castle Kennedy Airfield. A lot more choices in England. I actually wouldn't mind if there was one in something like Inverness, over by Oban, which I think is over... probably overshot somewhere. It's got to be somewhere over here. It's not that far. Might be wrong. Because I did drive through Fort William to here. I was sure that like Oban was somewhere over there, but I probably got myself lost. Oh, there, down there. Okay, not as far up as... I guess we crossed through Oban first. I got the order of things wrong. All right. You know what? Let's do Fife. Let's see if it crashes. If it crashes, we're just going to come back in and do a free flight. Fingers crossed. And the training flights, I think, have a fixed timing day, clear weather kind of thing. And then if we're going to do missions, which presumably use whatever, we'll just change the time of day to be daytime. Airports you have to choose from only the air premium airports. No, I think what they're targeting is they're restricting it to non-international airports that at least meet certain requirements. I think they're requiring these small regional secondary airports is what they're having as your choice. See, we didn't see our character walk up on the other loading screen.
Hello there. You must be Quill 182, right?
Oh, where's the Scottish accent? Come on. Okay. Yep. All right. Skip. Will it load?
Welcome to the apron. This is where all our flying adventures begin. Why don't you walk around a bit while I finish the pre-flight preparations?
Okay. All right. So we can WASD to move around. I mean, we can look with KILJ. It's saying, but...
Flying in a Cessna 172 Skyhawk. It's the main trainer airplane in our flight school. Our Cessna's got a glass cockpit and a 180 horsepower engine. Climbs well and is easy to fly. It's one sweet ride. I'm ready if you are, so hop in and buckle up. Let the good times roll. Yeah, yesterday I was able to load into the walk-around mode, and I was looking at some other airplanes, and I think it's just when I turned to where my airplane was supposed to be when it crashed, but I don't know. Yeah, so I like it because we can go and look at these various points, and this plane looks like it's ready, but when you start your flight cold and dark, it'll have like the covers over the pitot intakes and everything like that you've got to go and clear off. I mean, there's probably an option to skip it, but yeah. So Shift C to enter the aircraft. I wonder... Oh my god, I'm ducking! I'm ducking under the wing. I mean, that is kind of nice. I gotta admit. All right, let's enter the aircraft. Welcome aboard. While you settle in...
Oh, right, hold on. I was going to change the voice volumes. Sound... I guess... We'll just... Can I pull this over 100? It's... Oh, I thought that was still part of the slide bar. Okay, then what I need to do is just change it on my system here, and then probably bring down other sounds, because I suspect these will be a little loud as we go. So I'll leave the master up and the character voices up. Maybe I'll leave the warnings high. And then bring everything down. Something like that. Okay.
Let's go over our flight plan. After taking off, we will climb to 1,900 feet above sea level.
1,900 feet.
Fly over the airport to enjoy the view.
Okay, Scott.
Ready? Why don't you start the engine for us?
Yeah, can I do it manually, though? What is this Control-E shit? Come on. Also, it's kind of important that I do things semi-manually, because I'm using the honeycomb yoke, which has its own, like, key things, master, alt, etc. So the problem I'm worried about, if I hit Control-E, I'm worried that some of these might override things afterwards, and then just kill our plane partway through. Although it probably will ignore it. If I don't touch these, it'll probably stay in its state. Well, let's find out. If our engine suddenly cuts out because it's using the position of my hardware switches at some point, that'll just lead to fun. All right, Control-E, lazy startup mode. Aux pump goes on.
Perfect.
Battery's on.
It's from 270 degrees direction with a speed of 9 knots. So we'll be taking off from runway 25.
Wind's gonna be behind me.
Taking off. It's too early to end this
No.
flight. Okay.
No, never mind.
To the runway.
I forget what airplane. Yeah. Are you taxiing for me, buddy? All right. Yeah, no, I'll be flying directly into the wind. Well, it's going to be slightly coming in from my left, just barely.
All right, now comes the fun part. After releasing the brakes and applying full power, we will speed up and take off once we reach 60 knots.
Yep, it's using my hardware switches.
We will be climbing at 75 knots, which is the recommended climbing speed for the Cessna Skyhawk. While climbing, we will follow a left-hand traffic pattern and make 2 turns.
Woolrich.
If it sounds overwhelming,
I
am here to help.
I didn't listen to any of that, buddy. I had to start the plane again.
Otherwise, we're not going anywhere.
I'm sure it's going to be fine once we get into the air. You're going to be okay, right? Okay, yeah. So now all my switches... Oh, my lights don't match. So you have all the lights on except the taxi right now. So let me make sure my hardware switches match exactly. Yep, there's the parking brake. You can also activate it when we leave control space. There it is. Good.
Ready for takeoff? Apply full power to get us moving.
Okay. You're not telling me to watch my rudder or anything, huh? If I just apply full power, aren't I going to go off slightly to one side? I'm just saying.
You handle the yoke, and I'll take care of the pedals, steering the aircraft on the runway during takeoff.
Okay. Did you tell me what my rotation speed is? I can see it coming up on the thing, and I know it's about 55 knots. Wait until reach takeoff speed. Are you going to pause and then tell me to rotate?
We have reached 55 knots.
There we go.
Pull the yoke a little bit to lift off.
I think there should be a little bit more heads-up warning on some of these, but... Alright, so about 10 degrees first, and then, yeah, we'll rise. It should be about 75 knots, plus or minus, for our best rate of climb.
First turn. As you'll see, the Cessna 172 requires very little yoke movement to turn.
Where do you want me to turn to? Oh, okay. Alright, you're not telling me anything about best speed or anything, but sure. I guess you're going to want me to fly through these brackets. Reach upwind end. Oh, okay.
Start turning left. We are 300 feet above the ground. I will retract the flaps.
I was going to say... We're still sort of on best rate of climb. There you go. Okay, I'm not climbing quite as much, but I don't think we need to anymore. Alright. Groovy. Excellent.
Climbing and prepare for the next turn.
I'm gonna have to trim soon. Although maybe I should wait until he tells me to do that. Crosswind end. Okay, so we're just doing a pattern fly.
This is a good climbing angle. Try to visually remember it.
Well, visually climbing when your nose is pointing upwards into the sky feels awkward.
We need to climb.
Like, you should be telling me about speeds, buddy.
It will keep us 500 feet above the traffic pattern.
All right. I mean, in practice, what you can do is check your angle out of your wings. Well, not so much when we're like this, but...
Clouds are beautiful, aren't they?
Yes, the clouds are very nice. So I did a flight today with the real weather here in my home area, and it is just a single flat, featureless, overcast sky. which is exactly what it looks like outside the window, but that's darn depressing. Oh, I forgot.
We are 1,900 feet above sea level and 500 feet above the traffic pattern. We have safe separation with the other airplanes.
Good.
Look around, see our airport? Let's fly over it.
Smart camera, Control B. Hey, there it is. Okay, but you know what I should probably do? Fly the plane. We've already climbed stupid high. Also, I just lost tons of speed here. Yeah, I think we nosed up like crazy while we were looking away. Alright, oh, head towards the airport. Alright. Let me do that and descend. I'm gonna throttle back here a little. To descend without having to go too nose down, although watch the speed. Alright. Head towards the airport. I'm still 400 feet above where they told me to get to, but sure, this is fine. We're not being graded on this, right? Oh! Didn't realize we had some brackets waiting for us.
Fantastic. I know that you're busy navigating and controlling the plane, but don't forget to enjoy the view.
You enjoy the view. I'll enjoy the view when we can put it on autopilot. Alright, well, we're still high, although it flew me through that bracket, so I don't know. I don't have a key or a button on my yoke to do the smart camera. Oh, airport's directly below us.
Piloting.
So exciting.
I hope you enjoyed the flight.
Sure.
Let's head back to the ground now.
Okay. You want me to head to the ground? I know which way the direction the wind is. Yeah, the Steam reviews, the Steam reviews are going to be based on the fact that the loading yesterday was a fucking disaster.
This might be the first chapter in your pilot's journey, if you want to embark on it. Let's catch up at our headquarters.
Okie dokie.
You seemed comfortable out there. I'm sure you will get your PPL in
Did
no
I?
time.
Doubt. I need my hat to have a little bit more structure here. There you go.
There's a laptop in the office that shows all the certification information you'll need for your PPL exam. Take a look.
I really wish he had a Scottish accent. His name is Scott, but he's not a Scot. Alright, head to certification to pass your PPL.
Here you can see all the different certifications you can pass throughout your career. Your first step is to work towards your private pilot license.
Alright. Rotorcrafts, okay. Hooks, hoists, and things, Commercial pilot license, instrument rating, night, multi-engine, high performance. Ooh, tail wheel. I hate landing tail wheel planes. My God, does it feel ever uncomfortable. It's like flare, but don't flare too much because you're landing in your front wheels. Anyway, PPL.
The training lessons you'll need to pass the PPL exam are available here. Make sure you're comfortable with these before taking the exam.
First step to save up a load of cash before the flying lessons. Yep. Here's funny. We're actually going to make... Well, is it going to cost me 2,000 or is this the reward for completing it? I got 5,000 credits now. All right. Allows you to fly a single-engine airplane in good weather conditions and perform takeoffs and landings from land. Private pilots cannot fly aircraft for commercial purposes. Okie dokie. Aircraft available after exam. 152, 172, GMB VL3. No picture available for the Robin DR400. Okay, I guess let's take the exam. Yeah, we gotta purchase it. Okay, retry for free anytime. That's nice. Time to pass your PPL is your ticket into the world of aviation. For this practical test, you will need to complete a standard traffic pattern, follow the flight plan, apply what you learned in your training. Yeah, we learned a lot. Fly safe, and you'll get your license. Traffic patterns are generally flown at altitude of 1,000 feet above ground level, as opposed to the mean sea level, right? M. Each section of the pattern referred to as a leg. Okay. Sure. Boy, that's a lot of text. I've been not recording very much last week because I'm really trying to recover my voice from certain things, and we gotta play more games that don't involve as much talking and reading, maybe. But all right. Start and taxi towards the runway. Stop and hold short. align with runway, take off 55, climb at 75, 1,000 above ground level. Turn left, maintain 1,000 AGL throughout the downwind lane. Do not exceed 90 knots. Once beam the touchdown point, fly at 80 knots. Extend 10 degrees flap, which I think is 2 notches. Push nose down into descent. Turn left towards the base leg of pattern, slowing to 75, 20. And then final approach. Glide slope 65. Okay, so no full flaps or anything. Don't overspeed, don't overspeed. Sure. Let's do it. Ready. Oh, there's an option to turn clouds off. Although I think the weather's pretty good. I don't think they're using real weather for this. I think they've got a fixed weather, which makes sense because, I mean, we're not going to be able to do our PPL in bad weather. We're literally uncertified for that.
It's time. Your first ever check ride. Start by removing the covers and chocks, then join me inside.
Okay. Oh, there we go. Click on it actually physically with the mouse. You can examine the nose strut. Good. Excellent. Examine the nose tire. Everything's good. Lovely. Oh, what do you have here? Static port cover. Cool. Remove the chocks. Excellent. Duck under the wing. So I don't think we're being required to, like, check all these doors. Ooh, open. Close. Ooh. I really like that. Yep, that's a rudder. Ooh! Whack, whack, whack. Everything moves fine. Groovy. We missed the pitot cover, but that's okay. We'll come back around to it right before we get in. Can I wiggle waggle it too? No, we can only just check it. Is this the fuel cover? Oh, right aileron. There it is. Anyway, let's oh, and it marks it all green once it's been confirmed. Oh, that's lovely. Oil cover. Dipstick check. Is it? There it is. Couldn't find the click spot. Yep, everything's good. Close. Didn't mark as green, but maybe it disappeared. Anyway, let's get the pitot cover off. Okay. Shift C to enter aircraft. We could even skip to taxi. Oh, if you didn't want to do all the uncovering, you could skip directly to taxi. Okay, I'm going to set all my switches correctly in the off position here. And I think this should really be teaching you about checklists. You know, which you could access in our... I'm used to checking here for the checklist, but now it's all over here. So we could load the checklists, you know, all the pre-flight inspections, multiple steps involved. Nah. All right, we can just YOLO this, right? Let's turn the battery on. Avionics on. This is the fuel valve, and it is in the open position. So someone didn't pull that out before, but sure, I guess that's going to be okay. Fuel selector, we want both on there. Oops, come on. You can do it. There we are. And be full rich. Probably fine. Let's get the bacon turned on. All right. It's probably fine. Clear!
Your goal is to complete a left-hand traffic pattern, respecting the flight path and all required speeds.
Alternator on.
Rely on what you have learned in your training.
Avionics on.
You'll be fine. Now, show me the best traffic pattern that you've got.
Ooh, press enter to announce taxi.
Echo Golf Papa Juliet Traffic Cessna Golf. Hotel Romeo Golf Papa is taxiing to runway...
That's different. Is there a reason my second screen isn't on? I don't think you have a power button. I mean, we don't need it. Oh! It didn't take. Interesting. Why is this one on? Maybe this one's on just for batteries? I flicked these into the on position on my hard drive, but they didn't take. Let me flick them off. Flick them on. Oh. Oh, the mapping for them's not working. Okay. On. There you go. There we go. I was sure this was working earlier. I might just have to double check the the stuff. There we go. All right. Everything's looking okay. I mean, we don't strictly need that to fly, but... Yeah, failed the check screen function during walk around. And then, yeah, enter just does this. But yeah, it's totally unnecessary for what we're doing here. All right, hold short over there. Now, I do usually go with all assists off. The only assist I always like on is the taxi ribbon shit. Because navigating airports, obviously this one's fairly easy, but a lot of the other ones, right? You're trying to listen to the instructions. They're like, taxi via Alpha, Alpha 1, Alpha 2, Bravo 3, Gamma 5, and you're like, wait, I'm sorry, what? And then you're trying to taxi, and you're trying to look at these tiny little signs. So that's the one assist I do tend to leave on, is that I think I usually leave gyro drift turned off as well. And yeah, don't touch the screens. All right, anyway, let's disengage the parking brake. And whoa, I didn't realize we were at full throttle. What? Why are we in nose into the ground? I wonder if we can, there you go. It's fine. It's fine. This is fine. All right. Okay, it's in that box. I didn't know if this was representing a barrier to stop at or a get inside of it. I usually do my taxiing from third party as well, because the problem is, in a plane, you could swivel your head around, right? And I can sort of do it a little bit with my hat switch here, and of course, I can mouse around, but that is really kind of inconvenient to do. So to usually represent that when I'm taxiing, I usually go and do it in third person, because it's a heck of a lot easier to tell what's going on here. We're going to call that good enough. All right.
Echo Golf Papa Juliet Traffic Cessna Golf. Hotel Romeo...
I have played with head track no IR before. It was okay. But I mostly felt like things were fiddly more than anything. So, anyway. All right, let's try this without completely embarrassing ourselves. All right, well, I probably should have configured the flaps and things first. I'm kind of surprised by how little it says. Now, if we were doing, if we were using the checklist, we'd be verifying more things, including, hey, maybe when you release the parking brake, make sure you're not at full thrust. And I don't even think my lights are set up correctly. Let's just turn all the lights on, which is overkill, actually. I think we can turn off the taxi for the actual run-up. But our flaps are configured. We're at full rich. We haven't actually checked that our trim is in the takeoff position. These are all things that should probably be happening. Oh my, get out of... I need to look at this little line. I can't... Oh my god, okay. Hang on, I can adjust trim this way. There we go. We're supposed to be trimmed to takeoff neutral. There we are. All right. It's fine. The parking brake is currently not engaged. I'm just holding the brakes manually. Good. Excellent. Okay. So let's release the brake and start moving down. I'm not on center line, but there we go. Mostly M. 40 knots. 50. Rotate. 10 degrees up. Whoa! A little bit of a breeze pushing me to the left there. All right, nose down a little to try to improve our climb rate. Let's bring up the flaps. There we are. I don't think I held runway heading very well, but... Okay. Reach crosswind end. This one I'm supposed to be making my left turn? I must be. What are my things? Isn't the left turn base upwind? No, I don't fly in real life. I would love to do a discovery flight, but no. Okay, the other thing I would love are little markers to remind myself of my directions. I think I was supposed to continue to fly straight. I'm not sure. So 230. So minus 90 is 140, yeah? There we go. Reach downwind end. So let me just fly this for a second, then take another 90-degree turn. I think it was supposed to be 140, I'd said, and I'm doing 130. Oh yeah, my altitude. Oh, I'm supposed to maintain 1400. I was targeting 1900 again, like in the demo. Let's pull back on our throttle. I forgot it was... All right, well, we're not going to do a great job over here, but... And then turn to 140 minus 90, so a 50. Okay, there you go. We're at least within altitude range for a little while. Did I say 50? Of course I did. Did I overshoot it? Of course I did. Alright. So, we should be doing our downwind now, which means we should be running parallel to the runway. Could I see the runway? Of course I can't. Why would I possibly see the airport? That's the smart trick. This is definitely out there somewhere. Fine. Okay, just fly the plane. Alright, coming up on 140. Now it's position. I don't think it's announcing the position.
Echo Golf Papa Juliet
There it goes.
Traffic Cessna Golf. Hotel Romeo Golf Papa 2 miles southeast, 1,400 feet inbound to land.
Dropped a little low.
25.
Throttle up to about 75% again. Nose up a little is fine. I can't remember what speeds it was telling me to reach. Was it saying don't exceed 90? Ugh. All right. Extend our flaps. Let's keep going a little low. There you go. So, base leg now. So we're going to turn another 90 degrees left. So, it's 50 and then so 320. Maths! Blah. I was told there would be no math. Not true. Flying involves a crap ton of math. I'm probably wrong about the orientation of the... I didn't make a good note of the compass direction of the airport, and I'm terrible at spotting airports. Oh, okay. Well, there's our little marker for it, which is nice. This is theoretically facing the airport, but I can't see it. So I just went a little too far on my down leg, but that's okay. All right. There we are. Too fast. Well, I agree. Also, I think I need another pick of flaps. Approach speeds, I think, are 60 or 70, somewhere around there. Yeah, definitely way too fast. There's the airport! Man, oh man.
500.
We're at full throttle idle.
Echo Golf Papa Juliet traffic Cessna Golf.
All right.
Hotel Romeo Golf Papa is on final runway 25.
That is too fast, but we're going to commit anyway. It's a rented plane. That is so fast. Okay, well, no. Okay, we've bled most of it off. We're going to overshoot a little bit. A little bit of a bounce. It's fine. Toe brakes, which I'm not used to using toe brakes. I rarely use my my rudder pedals. Bring up the flaps. And I don't think there's a turnaround here. I think I'm just going to have to sort of do a little 180 on the runway. There's not... Oh, there's a little bit of area at the end. I have to get to the hold short back there, I think. That's not... It wasn't great. Again, the approach speed was too high, but we did manage to bleed off enough speed in the end, but not enough to maybe get stabilized quite as much as I'd like for a really nice flare. But... the other problem is my rudder pedals are not actually attached to the ground, so when I push hard, as I am now... Oh yeah, you know what? What am I thinking? Get on the fucking taxiway. I was just going to backtrack on the... I didn't properly realize that there was a taxiway over here. I was just going to backtrack on the runway. Alright, we could have done that nicer looking, but sure, it's all good. I thought this was just a single strip, so you're just going to have to backtrack. There, but there's a lovely taxiway here. How awesome. Is it going to prompt me to announce crossing the runway again? Because I am going to be going back on the runway, as you can see. So there's going to be some of it backtracking. I'm trying to get the rudder pedals. I'm trying to pull them back towards me, which is why we're not going straight, because I actually can't reach all the way. It's been pushed back. I cannot reach the rudder pedals properly. I'm just trying to poke at them with my toes. Oh, I should get like a piece of like plywood or something and attach it to it, or something like that it can slide under the chair so that it doesn't do this. Oh my god. Okay, I can reach a little bit more now. It's still hard to do the turn. There we go. Do you want me to turn around? Maybe it doesn't care. I mean, this doesn't look like the hold short, but there's a big blue area around here. Oh, no. Okay, well, while we're stopped, let me move this back. All right. Disengage the parking brake. They wanted me at the hold short at the end of the runway. I said disengage the parking brake. This parking brake is not on. Why can't I move? Okay. I didn't expect to have to go full throttle to move. So now I understand. So the taxi directions... You're gonna die, buddy. It's fine. He can't hear me. He's got his earphones on. The taxi directions... Oh, now it's telling me this holds short. It's okay. We can just do this one again. I wasn't happy with the... There you are. Now go to the parking stand. Sure. I wasn't happy with me not noting the airport direction. So we're just going to drive through this guy too. And so not knowing the proper directions for my various legs. And also not realizing or not recognizing properly that the altitude required was different from the demo. Oh, interesting. Oh, there we go. Shift. Sure. We'll use your shutdown. Then I'll turn all these off.
There's always room for...
There's a lot of room for improvement. I should do it again. Well, we got a B. You know what? No, we're going to try this again. Yeah, the altitude is a big thing. The pattern as well. Taxi path, disagree, but sure. Okay. There's still the problem of the separation. Yeah, I'll have to do it all manually rather than use their startups. Yeah, we only drove through 2 people. It's fine.
It's time. Your first ever check ride. Start by removing the covers and chocks, then join me inside.
Come on. Thank you. And the static cover. All right. Let's go in. Okay, so we're going to start it this way.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it definitely does not use my avionics buttons on my hardware. Okay. Fully lean, throttle and idle. Actually, you want it in about 1/4 inch for the startup.
Your goal is to complete a left-hand traffic pattern.
Turn those on.
Path and all required speeds.
Yeah.
Rely on what you have.
It worked so well last time, buddy. I'm sure it's going to happen again here.
Show me the best traffic pattern that you've got.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. No problem. All right. Now it's taxi. Release brakes. This time we're not at full throttle immediately, which is lovely. We're going to do this one properly. Ish. No, we're totally going to get a perfect A this time. An actual pilot's license. Does it look like I have a pilot's license? But I have been playing a lot of flight sims for a long time, and I do enjoy them a lot. I would love to do this right. Oh, it's 2.9! I had in my head that we're on a 3.3. Okay, so that's going to help our patterns. All right. And I'm not really making that corner very well, but sure. I do like that it's doing our callouts properly. I enjoy that.
Hotel Romeo Golf Papa, taking off runway 25, left closed traffic.
Just trying to use asymmetrical braking over here. All right. Okay. So again, I like to use the external view for the taxiing because it's just too difficult to like move your camera around. Okay. One level of flaps is going to be fine. Full throttle. Okay, so it's a 2... I'm sorry. We're 2.4 degrees? Really? Didn't this say runway 29? Maybe it said runway 25. Must have said 25. But it's about 2.4 and a change. Okay, rate of climb is good. So I think it wants us to hit 900 feet, then make our left turn. So we'll go to 170 while continuing to climb. Oh, we actually get a little marker. I don't remember seeing the little marker for the crosswind end. Maybe we'd overshot things last time. That's going to make things a lot better. Yeah, okay. Okay. There's a giant freaking sign in the sky this time. Where the hell was that? What's NM? Nautical miles. Where the hell was that last time? Okay. Guess we're making our left turn here. So we're going to 160 or 60 rather. There's our 1400 feet. Did you guys see the markers last time? We must have just overshot. I did fly straight for far too long on our ascent because I was confused about the priorities. That is too fast. Let's throttle back a little bit. We're going to get dinged for exceeding our traffic pattern speeds again. There we go. Throttle back and pull up a little. Bleed off the speed. Throttle up. I'm just trying to bring us towards about 1400-ish. A little low, but that's okay. Announce position. As we were presumably abreast of the... Is it abreast? Different term?
Echo Golf Papa,
of the airport.
Juliet Traffic Cessna Golf. Hotel Romeo Golf Papa.
Okay, altitude's good. Speed could be brought down just a scoochum. A beam, thank you. 1400 climbing slightly. Dip down. There we go. Base end. We'll We'll make this turn, deploy a level of flap. Good. There we go, at about a 3-4. Okay. Yeah, and now I'm sure I don't want to maintain a particular altitude. I think I do want to be descending a little. Throttle back, throttle back, throttle back. Yep. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure it was too fast, but I think I was supposed to start my slowdown on my base a little bit more. But much better than last time, speed-wise. Because we were having trouble slowing down to this point already. We'll hit our ideal speed a little faster. There we go. Now we're on glide slope. There you go. Yeah, I think our speed reached the target a little sooner. It was still certainly late, but much better. Trying to get my feet in position. Ooh, yeah, that flare took us nice and high. Definitely too fast. Bleed off, bleed off, bleed off, bleed off, bleed off. Ooh, that is a hard, hard landing. Hard, hard landing. I think we got a... Something turned red there, didn't it? Oh, I didn't announce landing. It's too focused on speed. Yep, all right. We did all those aspects properly last time. The hold short is moving. That's what's confusing me. Look, the hold short indicator moved. That's what was messing it up, because I was pretty sure it was behind last time. So they just want you to stop at whatever closest hold short you get to. Okay. Because that's one of the reasons I turned, and I was like, well, I have to backtrack on the
Echo Golf Papa.
the runway, because what it wanted was behind and to the right. And then after we got off the road, it moved it here. Okay. Ooh, let's do the thing where I pop outside again. There we go. Oh, I'm so mad I missed the radio. Also that their landing was still too hard. I think I was going a little faster than I should have been throughout the entire traffic pattern, and then I definitely failed to slow down for the base leg. Although I think it was a fine landing. It just would have been slightly uncomfortable. It's a lot nicer, too, now that I can reach my feet. I really feel like there should be a "I'm intruding upon the runway right now" kind of radio message. But sure. Please no one try to land right now, or we're going to get ourselves in a... I was going to say a Tenerife situation, which is not exactly accurate, because it didn't involve a plane that was landing. But it did involve a collision of planes on a runway. I mean, I did announce a taxi. I think the context of the taxi is going to include returning to the runway would have been maybe useful, but sure. I'm turning my lights on and off, and I'm not actually seeing them. Oops. I mean, maybe because it's daylight and it's not super obvious, but I'm not actually... Oh, okay, hold on. I do see a little blinking there. Just barely. Yeah, it's probably more visible at night. Anyway, we should... I'm just thinking we should probably get off the runway. Mm-hmm. And those keybinds do seem to be working. Yeah, I'll just have to check the avionics keybind, but... I love how this guy... Look at this guy. Absolutely no self-preservation whatsoever. I had to stop to let him walk through the place where I'm lining up to go park at, so that I would have turned that guy into ground beef. Parking brake on. And then we'll use the easy peasy shutdown.
Congratulations. You're on your way to become one hell of a pilot.
See, I did fine. I did fine. I'm qualified to fly anything out there. Don't worry about it. I did fine. Wow. I'm really surprised that there's not a ding in this area representing the radio thing. And the plane handling, I think we got into the high 90s last time, and we've got a bit of a fall there, but it's fine. It's easy to become a pilot. I don't know what you're talking about. For Ryanair. Hey! Okay. So we can fly single-engine airplanes in good weather conditions and perform takeoffs and landings from land. Private pilots cannot fly aircrafts for a commercial purpose. And we've unlocked the 152, the 172, Still not icon for the cadet, which has me a little concerned. Maybe it's deluxe only.
Hopefully that's the first of many steps on your career path.
Oh, the handling may have been the miscommunications. That's true.
Your PPL allows you to fly recreationally and begin to build up your flight hours. First flight missions are a great way to increase your experience. Let's go back to headquarters and review the specializations board to learn more.
Okay. Specializations.
As you can see, the career journey of a pilot can take...
I love the fact that there's an integrated career mode.
As I said earlier,
that's the thing I've been most excited about for this game.
Allowing you to fly recreationally and perform first flight missions, taking people on tours around the local area.
Okay, so I can take people on tours. I guess they can't pay me. It can't be commercial.
As you build up your flight hours and earn more certifications, other specializations will become available. Take a
look. There were no helicopters at the release of 2020, but they added them via over updates. Okay, so first flight is done. Compatible, okay. Level 1 pilot. Ferry flight. Oh, I need level 3. Why is it showing me that? Oh no, these are all locked. Oh, this is it. Okay, this is bringing someone... I see. I thought this was the thing I'd completed, right? Because the check mark, which to me the check mark does mean completed. I would have liked to see maybe an unlocked icon here instead of a check mark, but sure, whatever. Let's do it in the 152. We're gonna go like lower tech. Oh. This is just showing me what is unlocked. This is not an actual pick a mission now. There's the missions. Okay.
On this map, you can see all the missions currently available to you. There's one mission currently available. Select it now.
One person who trusts me with their lives. That's going to be the 172 again. Okay. Discovering Kupar landscapes with familiar faces to the local club. Some of them might have some familiar feces after, flying in my plane. But sure. Lauren Clowes, thrilled to take her grandpa up. Oh no, I'm responsible for 2 human lives for a flight with you. Seeing the city from above for the first time will be such a special moment, especially their hometown, Kupar. Kupir? Okay. Sure, it's fine. That's the full briefing. 45 minutes. All right. Sure. What I love is flying around in areas I don't know with a plane and a new simulator with all the hotkeys I don't know yet. So I don't think they're going to pay me, but they'll give me XP. Well, this is criteria, but it looks like a reward to me. Oh, criteria. Sightseeing quality, flight smoothness, landing smoothness. Yeah, maybe they pay for the fuel at least. So yeah, we do have, with that, this is great. We can plan our stuff. Oh, which is loaded in for us, which is nice. Which means actually this all should show up on our GPS. I think it might be loaded in there for us, which is at least good. So we know, we need to know where we're flying to, obviously. All right. Be fine. We're going to get paid in exposure. Piano Man, hey, thanks for the gift subs. All right. No crash, no crash, no crash. Okay, we're okay here. Past the point where it did hang that one time. And if there are going to be any crashes, they're going to be self-inflicted. Okay. You know what? If I have everything set to on here, if I tell you, you know what? I'm just going to skip to taxi. You'll presumably give me a plane that is turned on and matches what I have here. I'm going to be on an episode of Mayday. You just... All right. Everyone sign your waivers.
Looks like a perfect day for flying. Captain.
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 Welcome aboard, Lauren.
Captain.
Granddad. We've been meaning to arrange this ride over the place for a while. Now's the perfect chance to do it with you.
Uh-huh.
Seatbelt fastened? Then you're all set. Let's do it.
Hi, Grandpa. I'm gonna try real hard, okay? I'm really happy that didn't happen mid-takeoff, fish sticks. Thanks for the boots. What was that message? Celebrate my new barbecue grill. Oh, no, wait. That's an old message. Refresh? There it is. Fish stick says, there has to be food service on this flight, especially if the passengers don't make it. Oh, man. Apparently there's this real thing where people consume more tomato juice on flights by far than what they do on average. Now, maybe it's because, for whatever reason, because tomato juice is offered and it's, a little different for people, they're like, oh, I'll do something different, and it becomes sort of a flight ritual. But apparently, there's also a thing where, because of the change in air pressure and the way it impacts a nerve in your ear, apparently it makes umami flavors that much more, vibrant and tasty. Or Bloody Marys is the thing. So, tomato juice / Bloody Marys, some people just ask for tomato juice, and some people get Bloody Marys, made with tomato juice. But apparently, being up in the air, slightly depressurized, enhances the flavor of tomato juice. What about Clamato? I mean, I'm sure that would work as well. Clamato, of course, is the superior drink. Okay, announce taxi. Oh, let me just, before I do, I'm going to give a wiggle to my little controls to make sure they're properly synced. Because a lot of times, and this isn't an issue with Flight Simulator necessarily, a lot of times your hardware, your joysticks and things like that have switches and things like that, they're not switches that are constantly broadcasting their position. Instead, they're effectively little buttons that when you flick a switch up or down, what it's actually doing is hitting a button and just telling the simulator, oh, I am now in the up stage, or up state. Oh, I am now in the down state. And so sometimes you have to, you just give them a little tap and then it gets them all synced up and stuff like that. But it looks like we're okay over here. So we will do this. Best lasagna I had was in flight. Yeah, maybe next time they offer me some tomato lasagna, I will do that as well. All right, announce.
Echo Golf Papa, Juliet Traffic Cessna Golf. Delta Fox.
We're departing the other way this time.
Is taxiing to runway 07.
Again, I'm going to go to third person view because it gives me a much better, wider angle.
With you today, Captain. I'm Lauren.
Can I rename it so they call me Quill or something instead? Since it's obviously, it's all,
By hanging out, I mean flying.
text to speech. I have not figured out the turning radius.
I'm a bit nervous, but eager to see the landscape from above. The guys at the field said you're a super pilot, so we're in your hands now.
I announced my taxiing. Was there an extra announcement for entering the runway that was missed? It popped up an error. Was it confused? Did it think I was supposed to go at the other end, which doesn't require entering the runway? Because it's acting like I'm doing things out of order. Taxi to start of runway, enter runway. It skipped the taxi, but it's telling me visually to go and launch at the other end. I'm not saying it's wrong. I really think there needs to be an announcement when we enter the runway, but I don't think it gave me a prompt for it. It's career mode very new, seems to be bugging me. I mean, the game literally came out yesterday and was actually unplayable yesterday. The career mode did not exist in MSF 2020. Although there are some great third-party websites and apps and things like that that could simulate some very interesting and complex career modes. But yeah, I feel like, and again, no, I agree. I definitely should have made an announcement going in. I think it kind of screwed me with not a notification there. But all right. All right, line up. Well, I heard new Civ game's going to happen. Civ 7, or are you talking about something else? Civ 7 comes out in January? February? Somewhere around there. I think February. I think early February is the release date. But who knows what might happen with that. Don't worry, I'm sure we're going to be playing it. All right, let's give it a little bit more go juice. It's actually always difficult to figure out what the correct throttle setting is for your taxi, because a lot of times you need a bit of oomph to get started, but that can quickly overspeed you. So you bring it down, and then all of a sudden you notice, wait, am I crawling? Is it slowing to a crawl? Dang it! And then to push again, you do that. Whereas some jetliners is like, listen, leave yourself in full idle, As long as you release the brakes, you're going to be moving. All right. So... Now, there's no prompt for it, but I'm wondering if I just hit enter while I'm holding short... Which... I'm not sure we're completely holding short here. Come on. Alright. Right around here. What happens if I hit enter? Maybe nothing? And now it's taxi, and now it's clear of runway, and now it's takeoff. I mean, I'm taking off heading east. I'm not going to do anything, because it's not asking me to do anything. I mean, maybe the takeoff is literally when I line up for the takeoff. Well, we didn't get a little red pop-up saying we've screwed something up again. Sure, we'll see. Doesn't make a U-turn. There's no U-turn, but we are just taking off. All right, let's go to first-person mode. Come on, line me up. Give me a tick of flaps. Good. Lights are on. Okay. We do... yeah, we do have a purple line here. I think it is going to go straight, telling us to take a left turn and then go there. That's on the opposite side. Whatever. Let's see. Let's see what it says for us to do. Let's stop trying to guess, and we'll just respond to things in real time. Which probably means we'll be missing some steps that we should be prepared for ahead of time, but it's fine. Yeah, I mean, I can zoom that in and out. That's okay, but... And 55 knots.
Hey, this is something else.
It's just to say, hey, your wing fell off! Whatever, you signed the waiver. And nose down a little bit here. There we go. And we're aiming for about 75 knots. For our best rate of climb. Oh, there we go. So yeah, in my normal flight, I have those little helpers turned off, but I suppose it is fairly helpful here. I don't think I climbed quite as quick as it's telling me to do that, but yeah, I can nose up a little bit more. We got a little bit more speed. Complete the 900. We are now 500 feet above the runway, so I can go and raise the flaps as well. Didn't give us a target altitude other than get up to at least 9.
What's that weird jolt? Are we going down?
Am I flicking my ailerons a little too much and causing some slight G-forces or something? I don't know. All right. I'm gonna pull back about 75.
Okay, not scared.
I'm too excited to be scared.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe you should be scared. Yeah, I went too far past, but I didn't want to make the turn until I was at 900 feet. So I didn't climb as quickly as I could have, as I think the thing. All right. 90-ish knots. So it looks like it's targeting, it didn't talk about it, but it looks like it's targeting about 1,500 feet here. All right, let's try to give us a little bit of trim so I don't have to keep up the back pressure on my yoke. How are we feeling here? No, definitely wants to nose down a little bit. I think I can throttle back a tiny scooch as well. It is, it's bumpy. It's not me.
Look, the rooftops here. Beautiful.
Are they?
Everything down below.
I really wish I could look outside, but I kind of got to make sure to not crash the plane, is all I'm saying here. We're at about 60% throttle. Still our speeds are... Whoa! Oh, set an altitude of 1,200. Set a speed of 87 knots. And I guess pick right or left. I think we got to call it for 500. There's a bit of a hill there that I'm not very high over. But okay. All right. We got a check mark within 200 feet, so I guess there's our range. Okay. Stay below 87 knots. Well. There we go. I'm at basically full idle here, so just letting it drop a little bit more. There we go. Let's bring it back up to about 50% throttle, which is climbing the speed. Pull back. There we go. I mean, it's easy following the indicators. 80 knots. Altitude okay. Mostly because I'm not flying at full throttle, and I'm trying to maintain... Oops, too fast. I'm just worried about losing too much speed. Like this. You know what? Should I get a level of flaps out for this? I think I like it. So throttle up, 1 notch of flaps. I mean, we're not at stall speed, but it would certainly make me feel a lot more comfortable with 1 level of flaps, and then I could bleed off more speed, like I'm doing now. We're well below 87.
For us, it's breathtaking.
I would love to be able to look at the freaking landscape with you, but some of us have to fly a plane. Oh, yep, all right.
I've never seen the area like this.
What a grumpy captain. Yeah. Oh, I guess we're done. Okay. Fly to pattern entry, connect to arrival airport via ATC, or press enter. And climb so you don't smack yourself into the hill that was just there. Okay, got a little more throttle, but we're climbing, so the speed's not going up too much, but that's fine. About best rate of climb-ish. Although that might be different depending on whether or not we have a flap out or not. I thought it said arrival airport. That's funny. Okay, give it some juice here. Throttle, throttle, throttle. Pull back to about 75% throttle. Downwind, 45-degree angle. Yep, that feels right. So, I mean, if we look at the order, it looks like I fly to the pattern entry
Everyone back home about this.
and then radio. But I feel like you should be announcing your entry into the pattern first, no? Hitting enter didn't actually do a verbal call out.
Welcome back, aviators. Are you okay, Lauren? Ready to give it a go again?
Totally doing it again. Sign me up.
Maybe Scotland, it's not raining.
You made our day, Captain.
It doesn't rain all the time in Scotland, but it does rain almost every day. A little different. All right, we're on a slight descent slope over here. I mean, that's 1 level of flaps out, so we get the extra drag. And I'm only at 50% throttle, so I'm actually kind of a little surprised at the speed we've got. The voiceovers aren't great, but honestly, I appreciate them existing. Wonder if you do this badly enough, if you can get the passenger to say she'd never getting in a plane again at this point. That's funny. You know, I'm pretty sure... I'm sorry, where's my pattern entry? Oh, shit! I'm pretty sure that I shouldn't be reading texts. Wait, did all my markers just disappear? Did I do that badly that I don't have any pattern markers anymore? They just disappeared. Yeah, I've got flaps 1 out still, by design. Did I hit a button?
Echo Golf Papa Juliet traffic Cessna Golf. Delta Foxtrot India.
Oh, the markers are back.
Northwest 1,000 feet inbound to land runway 07.
Again, if you're going to give me nav aids, then don't take them away. Oh, no! Overspeeding! My flaps! It's because I actually went down to flaps 2 in preparation for making this turn, so I wouldn't have to make as many...
What's with the turbulence?
There's no... Listen.
Should I be worried?
You might have felt a few G's there. But barely. Barely. You're fine. Lauren, goddamn, man. I do this flight for you for free. You know? Next you're going to complain about the fact that I'm compressing your spine upon landing. There's just no pleasing some people. Alright, I'm a little low. No, we're good. Just no pleasing some people at all.
Just like a roller coaster.
Oh, I didn't announce the final! It's fine. I'm sure there was no one on the runway. We didn't leave a smear behind us, did we? That would have been kind of embarrassing. I gotta admit, one of the things I'm looking forward towards the most in the career mode is the having to use the ATC, because it's not something that Flight Simulator does very well. 2020 didn't do well, and I think it's actually stripped down even more in 2024 currently. I think they've got plans for more... There's a slight uphill here. Making it hard to get started. I think they've got plans for more, like, just stronger ATC stuff. But flight sim pilots are notoriously bad for not actually doing radio calls because it's generally not required in the sim. Told you, I can't look at chat while I'm flying? You know, you're right. You know, hold on a sec. The best thing for me to do in the middle of a flight is to look at the chat over here and pay attention. I keep trying to peek over, but man, it's hard. I keep checking the top right corner to see if it comes up on the announces. And I think sometimes it does come up and I don't notice quickly enough. But I think some of it, they may be expecting you to do it autonomously. And I was a little bit torn about whether or not we should be following those strictly or doing our own. It was there all the time. Okay. Now, I was just too focused on the landing. Which, to be fair, landing went a lot better this time. Because I wasn't paying as much attention on that thing over there. Alright, we'll use the shortcut for the shutdown. Guys, it was totally a success. The landing was good. Only you'd called it. Yeah, I was just a threat to... So, what I would love to see... Yeah, most important mistakes, radio communications, flaps extended max speed. That was pretty bad. Oh, there's an S tier for this. I don't know if there was an S tier for the license. Landing smoothness 59, but I'm wondering if we got a ding on this. I think they probably take into account the radio call, because right, we're not seeing a value in here for proper procedures, for example. So I'm wondering if this included the missed landing at the end. I really wish we got a feet per minute call out. One of my favorite, like, there are many mods for it, but a lot of little mods and things exist for for Flight Simulator 2020 that includes like a little pop-up after the end, tell you like sort of the G-force and feet per minute. Oh, performance details. Avoid common mistakes. Yeah, okay, but it doesn't actually give me a breakdown of exactly where the things went badly. We almost got an A. We did do an aggressive bank, which got a complaint about the turbulence, which fair enough. Fair enough.
Nice work completing your first mission. Continue building your flight hours by...
Okay. Is there going to be another one like this? Oh, now they're all over the place.
Here's all the first flight missions available right now. Take your pick which one you want to tackle next.
But they're all going to be... Yeah, they're all these first flights with people. Just little mini sightseeing tours. Oh, out from different places. Oh, with different planes.
Hey, Quill, pay attention. There's a new subscriber.
What's up? Is there one with the 152? Because that'd be fun to do. I know that one. wonder if can you filter? Oh, you can get a mission list. Although that doesn't tell us the stats either. All right. So I think all of these are the 172s except for this one with the VL3, which I don't know. You hate the AI voiceover? Yeah. Tell you what we're going to do is rather than doing another one of these, let's give you a little tour. We'll do a little free flight to end. First flight. Who's theirs or yours? I mean, I know, right? Let's go to my home airport and we'll use the, we're going to try the TBM, which I like quite a lot. Oh, I think, are they called the Dahmer here? Yeah, Dahmer TBM 930. I really quite like this plane. And then, no, not North Bay. There we go. Sudbury, set as departure. And yeah, we'll just do the flight as is. It's going to be okay. Start me off on the runway with everything active. Perfect. I didn't buy anything, actually. I'm just using the base version on the Xbox Game Pass. I probably will buy one of the premium or deluxe packs or something to unlock more planes going forward. But for now, it's this. I want to just see what was in the base version of things.
Sudbury traffic tower, Charlie. Foxtrot Golf Lima Papa, taking off runway 22 straight out departure.
All right. This thing is slick.
Test. Okay.
It's kind of weird, like, not everything is actually completely in the booted up state here on the runway start. But overall, we seem to be fine. We got some flap deployment. We've got, I believe there's an on-screen deployment, or indicator for flaps over here. Now, oh! The condition lever controls if I'm in the extra idle mode. Okay. Mix. Oh. I think this just stopped. Does it say I also have the mix lever, but there's not a mixture control on this plane, but it does seem to have killed the engine. I was just trying to check what my mappings were. All right. Well, that's fine. Okay, so there. Oh, how did I get it to low idle? That's there. How do I get it to the low idle spot? It went there for a second. Dang. I mean, I can pull it this way, which is interesting because I actually don't know. That's the toga button. I actually don't know with just the mouse how to get this into the regular throttle position. The same thing here. Like if I do this, now it's in the regular throttle position. With the mouse, I don't know how you're supposed to get it. Oh, wait, hold on. Hold right, adjust throttle horizontal position. Oh! Okay, hold right, and then we can toggle between the two. All right, cool. All right, it's kind of important to like get the control surfaces figured out. Okay, I think we're probably okay to do a YOLO here. So that's full shutdown. Engine start. Cheat mode. There we go. All right. The right-click stuff is different. So there's this whole thing where you like click now to hold and scroll. That works a little different than I had my simulator configured previously. And then some things have a lot of, when you're holding it, you can right-click or even middle mouse button for an alternate behavior. Like you're flying the Airbus 320, for example, the middle click and right click are how you choose whether you're pushing a button or pulling a button while you're grabbing onto it. Okay, so pitot heat's not on. I believe that's over here. Oh, the other thing too is it's a click and drag, which I'm sure is customizable, but it's not just like click to toggle. Inertial separator is on, which we definitely want for takeoff. We've got the alert that parking brake is on, which is correct right now. All right, I think we can just go and head out. So what I want to do from here is I'm going to take out and fly basically southwest to go over the city. So we're just going to do a random sort of YOLO visual flight over here, which should be all right. Okay, so let's toggle the parking brake. That warning goes off. Set the throttle up. We've got one tick of flaps, which, I mean, we shouldn't even need that. But we should have speeds on our... Oh, reset the view as well. Ooh, that's a little bit higher than I would like my view to be. Actually, I don't know if the speeds are in there. We may need to configure it into the machine. Yeah, because I mean, this is well past our takeoff speed. Yeah, I think there would have had to be a bit of configuration going on. That's okay. All right, let's bring it down. Oh, hold on. I was going to hit G for gear up. G is not the gear up hotkey in 2024. And actually, I don't know what the new hotkey is. So I'm just going to have to do that to landing gear up. What a lovely view we're getting right now, looking straight up into the sky, huh? All right. So, as I said, I want to do a turn. See, it's slightly too high. It's cutting off too much of the bottom of the display, which I would like for the default view over here. We go outside and then zoom out. Ah, what a beautiful landscape. Pretty darn accurate, I have to say. I think going southeast. I want to go southwest. So let's do that. Okay. And this bad boy does go quite a lot faster. But yeah, right, I'm overspeeding. You can go full throttle at high altitudes, but not so much on low altitudes here. Okay, let's do that. Let's set our trim as well so it doesn't naturally just want to nose up quite so badly. There we go. There you go. We're getting a master caution for the heat. But yeah, this user interface, I should really just throw on the autopilot for a second, is lovely for the flight planning, all this, great screens. While I don't actually, when I'm flying the Cessna 172, I don't appreciate the glass cockpit. Because that's not how I like to fly it. Oh, we can't go this high, we're getting some clouds, which I don't want. This is, again, just sightseeing tour over here. But with this plane, I really like it. So, we're following... Oh, here's the other thing that happened. The mouse controls for viewing in this mode are inverted from 2020. And I haven't found an option to flip it back. So I'm routinely going to be having some difficulty orientating this the right way. Let's go down to about 50% throttle, which should be fine. So, we left the airport behind us. You can see it over there. And the highway. So this is where all the airport parking is. And you follow this road to here, to here. There's a town called Capriol out over that way. And over to our left, I believe this is Falconbridge. Well, that's a Coniston Airport. Maybe Falconbridge includes more of this part, but that's fine. We're going to get into Sudbury properly over here. The shadows from the prop are a little bit, let's say, less than great. The funny thing going on right now is that it's not actually the prop model currently, right over here. It's replaced it with the smeared prop sort of visual. But clearly the prop still exists in some fashion for the shadow casting, but that looks so wrong. Does this show up, like if I go and... Oh, this doesn't have a I'm scrooching up over my windshield kind of view. God, I'm nosing up some more again, which is just terrible. I really got to get this trim a little bit better here. But yeah, that looks awful. Oh yes, thank you, the tree stream. That came fast. That's my poutine. I'll go and pick it up after the flight here. All right. So now we're getting to Sudbury kind of proper. So yeah, there we go. Okay. That's the road leading out there. So is this LaSalle? Does this be the mall and everything? Well, this is the corner with the Timmy's and the bank, I would think. So no, that's not the mall. This has got to be the Kingsway and then Barry down over here. This must be LaSalle here. It looks like there's a lot more greenery than I imagined on the ground, but I'm not entirely sure. I think, here's the thing. I think there's no reason to rush to 2024 right now, although the career mode is cool, and I'm really excited to play that. That's the thing I've been looking forward towards the most. Okay, you know what? I'm forgetting the speed of this bad boy. I'm like, how are we already at St. Joe's Hospital? Yeah, okay, this thing is super fast. If you Google Sudbury Hospital painted or Sudbury painted building or something like that, you will see this building over here in a sort of grandiose graffiti kind of view. Go ahead and give it a Google right now. It's fine. It's okay. You can tap out. It's all right. We're also a lot higher than, again, I was like thinking about doing this in a 172, and I've been doing some flyovers in the 172. So the height and the speed is catching me a little off guard. So Sudbury used to have 3 major hospitals. There was Laurentian Hospital, St. Joseph's Hospital, and Memorial Hospital, which actually I think this is Memorial Hospital here, because I think this might be Regent. And at the height, I'm having a little bit of a difficulty with the scale, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. Anyway, at some point they decided that it would be better, maybe they're right, maybe they're not, to group up all the hospitals into one big mega hospital instead of having these 3 separate ones. And, a lot of them were a little bit older. Laurentian was the newest with the biggest site, so it was expanded to something that is now called Health Sciences North over here. But the old hospital building still exists. One of the hospitals, St. Joe's over here, is on the shores of Lake Ramsey, which is what this is here. Sudbury has something like 100 lakes within its city borders. It's ridiculous. And Ramsey is the biggest of them all. To me, it looks like it's iced over here, but I don't think it's iced yet in real life. So there's that, and it was like, oh, we've got this building. One side of it overlooks the water. Wouldn't it be a great place for a bunch of condos and stuff? And, it was sold to a private developer who has utterly failed to ever do anything with it for a variety of different reasons. In fact, I think it's been sold and bought like a couple of different times along the way. So it is just a derelict building currently. I don't know who owns it. I don't know if there's any plans for it. I mean, even demolishing it was a problem. It has been gutted. But yeah, the plans to make it into a bunch of condominiums or apartments or something just fell through completely. And this has been the case for years, and it was becoming kind of an eyesore. So at some point, there was a commission project with an artist to go and paint the entire thing in these incredible garish colors. And there was a mixed reaction to it to start with. But I always thought it was kind of cool, and I think most people have really come around to it. It's kind of neat. And yeah, then there's the old Memorial Hospital, which, again, if that's Regent, I think it's this right over here, this pair of buildings, one of which is still used for outpatient services, and one of which I think is a sort of a nursing retirement home kind of setup. Oh, the other thing, across from Laurentian, right over here, now it's not going to work really good. Let's see, okay, if I just kill the throttle to avoid overspeeding too much. Keep it in the green area to not stall, but we're going to nose down a little. I want to drop a little further. Let's see what the Science North buildings look like in 2024. I don't think they ever made it into a content pack, so I think it's just generic satellite telemetry. Okay, descend, 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 descend. Question, where's the best poutine place? That is hotly contested, my friend. I think it's mostly like the food trucks that tend to be the best, in most people's opinion. All right, so right over here, across from Laurentian Hospital, or rather Health Sciences North, this is Science North. This is the Science Center in Sudbury, which is actually fantastic. It's got 2 buildings that are actually shaped like snowflakes, which is not showing up here at all, because it's trying to do the best that it can based on some satellite imagery, which I can't really understand. But 2 buildings shaped like snowflakes over here. If you ever spend a couple of days in Sudbury, you want a great time, go to Science North. It's wonderful. Now, going in a different direction, we're going to go and fly over Lawrence Street over here. And there are a couple of points of interest here in Sudbury that made it into the Canadian content pack. Descend, descend, descend. I still have the my engine set on idle here. So we have the Big Nickel, which theoretically, yeah, it does have a custom model. If I go and hit pause. Okay. It's going to be very tricky when I unpause because I don't remember exactly the position of my flight controls. I'm going to be trying to do my best to come back to it. But there is another camera mode. Shush you. Showcase mode. There we go. So, oop, whoa. What the heck did F do on showcase mode? That's interesting. I don't know what the up and down keys are in this mode. I'd assumed... Oh, Q and E, apparently. All right. Let's go take a look at the Big Nickel. There she is. The Big Nickel. Sudbury, of course, is the nickel capital of the world. That's what it is known for. It is literally a giant crater. Well, technically the giant crater is sort of on the north side of it. And it wasn't. It used to be thought that it was a nickel-rich asteroid or meteoroid that had landed there, but it was actually now believed to be a comet that actually just, rather than being nickel-rich by itself, just sort of blew away the surface crust and revealed a lot of deposits. So this showcase mode, the way this is done here, is very different how it used to be. They talk about also like infinite zoom and all kinds of different things like that. They're actually quite cool. But yeah, you can come and visit the Big Nickel. And then over here, we have the Inco Superstack. So Sudbury, again, being a mining town, and having to work with nickel. And nickel's quite hard to smelt, to extract. For a long time, nickel was like a cursed thing. It was like Kupfernickel or something like that. People wanted copper, and sometimes they'd find copper that was mixed with nickel, which made it basically impossible to get the copper. So it was the devil's copper, was kind of the thing. But it turns out nickel's pretty useful, and Sudbury's got a lot of it. And the way it used to smelt it, they would make these huge open bed roasters. They would make these giant pits, the size of like sports fields kind of things. They'd stack all the ore. Then they went around and cut down every tree within like 100 kilometers, got cut down over time, basically, more or less, literally true. And then just fill these open bed roasters with all this wood, set the whole thing on fire, which would burn for apparently like weeks and weeks. This ore, very rich in sulfur, leading to very acid rain. Literal, strong, powerful acid rain that the denuded landscape, which had no trees anymore, everything that was left was killed by the powerful acid rain, leaving the entire region over here barren, exposed rock that had gotten burned black from the acid rain. To the point where astronauts literally came and trained here. We used to joke because the area around Sudbury looked like a moon. It was a little more complicated than that. They were actually trying to learn some geology and learning to identify like meteoroid impact fragments and stuff like that. But it was kind of both. It was a lunar, barren kind of surface over here. Starting in the 80s and accelerating greatly throughout the 90s and early 2000s was a massive regreening and replanting effort. So there are now trees and things. You'd be hard pressed to find a place with any exposed black rock anymore. So there is that. There's no old trees, but they're trying to do their best. Anyway, all that to say, at some point, because they realized these open pit smelters were pretty bad, they thought, okay, listen, this is ruining the environment around us. What can we do about it? How about this? How about we build a huge giant chimney so that the pollution goes somewhere else? Oh, what a brilliant solution to the problem of the pollution generating by the mining industry. Let's just send the pollution elsewhere. Now, in theory, the idea was also to get it up high enough so that it would spread out more and have less of an acute problem everywhere, and it, just sort of smooth it out and make it like less dire. So the Inco Superstack, which is still around. Now, it hasn't been in use in a while. In fact, you can see here in the game too, they have it properly, not generating any smoke or anything. Now the byproducts of the smelting process are basically all captured. And shipped and sold off. So they sell the sulfuric acid and they sell whatever. They do most of the things. Still got a few steam towers, and there's still a little bit of stuff, but it's like nowhere near the same. They keep talking about tearing this down, and in theory, at some point, they will be doing it, in the not too distant future. But every time they announce it's going to be next summer, and then it doesn't happen. So I don't know what the current state of it is. But yeah. So anyway, let's get back in the cockpit. And I'm very nervous about unpausing here, because I don't know what's going to happen, but we will set the throttle to full because we're clearly going to have to elevate a little and try not to smack into the smokestack. So let's go. And how does the community feel about removing it? It's mixed, because at this point it's such part of the cultural identity of the city that how do we get rid of this landmark? On the other side, it makes no point there's no reason to maintain it. And it's sort of an eyesore, but not an eyesore just because of this iconic thing. There's also on the on a street called Notre Dame, there are some old grain silos that are part of the what's that neighborhood called? the flour mill district that people constantly want to get rid of so they can put like other buildings or something there because they haven't been used in a million years. And other people are like, no, you can't. It's a city icon. We've got a really funky water tower as well that sort of looks like a big UFO that hasn't been used in forever, and people want to tear it down. And other people are like, no, our cool water tower. So now they just put up big billboards around it. So it's not a big advertising thing. So I don't know if that's any better, but it is what it is. Okay, unpause and try not to crash. Okay. Want to nose up a lot? Let's. Yep. Okay. We got to throttle back a little bit. Our temperatures are a little high. Okay, I'm having to apply considerable forward pressure. So trimming down, trimming down, trimming down, trimming down. Oh my God. What was our trim set to? There we go. Okay. Okay. A little bit more so that I don't constantly have to push forward on the yoke. Okay. Not too shabby. All right. What else can we do as part of our tour of my... Oh, it's such a lovely hometown. As you can see, lots and lots and lots of lakes all over the place. Now, it would be interesting to see if they are frozen. They kind of look frozen-ish to me, but I suspect if we tried to land on one, which first of all, it's not a plane equipped to do that sort of thing. We're descending very rapidly, but that's intentional here. I mean, this is lower than I should be for the flight, but we're just doing silly sightseeing stuff. Now, there are, like, lake-based airports kind of thing all over because there are a lot of people, like, even growing up, I remember, like, some of my neighbors, you know, just a small town, but this is way back in the day, right? And we're talking about, like, in the 80s when prices were different for a few things. There are a few people on the lake who had attached to the docks at their house float planes. I don't know what they were, but yeah. Sort of almost like a leftover of like sort of bush pilot culture kind of vibe. And I suspect there probably still are. Now, are we over Azilda here? Was that Whitewater Lake? I suppose I could put on, can I not zoom out any more than this? Oh, I could put on various nav markers. But I very much think this is Azilda over here, which is the town I grew up in. And that must be Whitewater Lake, which water's not supposed to be white, but let's pretend. Now, Azilda is one of the few places around here that's not named after English cities. It was named after a farmer's wife, I believe. I believe it was the person owned the farm there, and the city / whatever wanted to build a little town. I think he sold off the property, but I think they named the property after the farmer's wife. It's a story I recall hearing growing up. Whether it's any of it is accurate, who knows these things? Now, if I was right and that's Azilda, then we should be coming up around a town over here that, remember every time I mock, like, especially British city place names, because no British city or town is named the way, or it's pronounced the way it's spelled. At all. Never, ever, 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 ever. Now, in their defense, this area over here, the name of this place is pronounced, it's Chelmsford. Chelmsford. One word. Now, that is also a British town. I believe it's in the east near Kent. Yes, London's basically pronounced what it looks like. I don't know how the English pronounce Chelmsford. But we pronounce this place Chelmsford. This is Chelmsford, right here. Now, when I grew up in this area, Chelmsford, Chemi, and Azilda, and these places were all separate little towns. Although at some point, I don't know when it is, and I have to look it up. For all I know, since before I was born, or some point in my childhood or something, I don't know. Azilda and Chelmsford became a municipality just called Rayside Balfour. And so that was the regional council there. And a bunch of little towns in and around Sudbury basically had their own little regional councils and stuff, and were their own independent little townships. But at some point, the Sudbury area amalgamated. So technically the city is the city of Greater Sudbury, just like there's the Greater Toronto area. And so this is all part of Greater Sudbury now. Whether or not that worked out well for everyone, both in the city and outside of the city, is still a big cause for debate, and it's been over like a couple of decades at this point. There's still some people that are very bitter about the whole thing. What is that? Must just be an industrial area. I don't think there's an area I go into. There's something awfully square there. Oh, it could be tailing ponds or some sort of water processing. Because I'm not convinced that's a building. Yeah. I think that's exactly what these are. I think this is water processing. Most likely. Could be part of the sewage processing process, or it could be attached to some of the mining things for like tailings and stuff like that. Now, somewhere, and I have no idea where I am at this point, which is great. You know, you always want to get lost. Luckily, this plane has GPS, so we can always just hit a direct to and head back somewhere. Somewhere sort of south of Chelmsford in the Lively area. Yeah, which would be south from here. We'd have to cross the highway. I actually don't know. Somewhere there's the Creighton mine. And I actually don't know where it is. I feel like it's in Lively, but I'm not entirely sure. Whether or not the town of Lively is completely misnamed, I don't know. But that is where in that mine is where you find the Sudbury Neutrino Observatory. Deep, 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 deep down. So this is all the Canadian Shield. Very dense rock all over. Old, very dense rock. And deep within one of these mines, which is still in operation, still an operational mine, although not at the level where the Sudbury Neutrino Observatory is located, is this observatory. It is a giant, giant dome filled with heavy water, which is water where instead of hydrogen, they are deuterium atoms. So they have extra neutrons. So it's water that's denser than regular water. I can't remember. I think about 1% of all water contains, I think about 1% of all water is heavy water. What do they mine at the mine? Probably, almost certainly nickel mines. Like all the mines in this area, as far as I know, primarily nickel mines. I think they get some amount of copper, and they do get certain amounts of some precious metals as well, like some gold, some platinum, and things like that. But the vast, vast majority by weight is definitely nickel. So probably it was a nickel mine. But anyway, so this observed now neutrinos, there's at any given point, there's billions of neutrinos passing through the entire Earth, passing through your body, and they're so small that they basically never interact with matter at all. But with this giant heavy water dome, sphere, geodesic dome, they occasionally interact. And there's all these photosensors all around that occasionally pick up the little flash of light that happens when a neutrino interacts with things. And they do this to study shit. So, yeah. All right. I'm going to muck around with my controls here for a second. So what I want to do, I think, is I should probably activate the autopilot to just hold us steady. So if I do this, first of all, I guess there's no flight directive button. If I just do this, it'll hold us level. Perfect. Don't do anything else. Just hold us level. Good job there, autopilot. Now, if I wanted to come down here and go over here and ask, I would like, okay, yeah, be initialized. Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. We're supposed to do that on land. It's fine. We're going to do a direct to CYSB. Sudbury. Perfect. Enter. Activate. All right. Why is my plane turning? Oh, the autopilot is engaged. I was gonna say, it should have just been keeping us level. Anyway, now you can follow the nav. That's okay. And specifically, let's do an altitude lock. You're not just trying to keep us level. You're going to try to maintain, I was going to say exactly 2,500 feet. We'll put that as a target, but yeah, you're in alt-hold mode. I guess I could go and tell you a command to descend a little bit. Okay, you're flying directly to Sudbury right now. That's great. So as I mentioned, the radios feel less developed in here than 2020. A little weirdly, we don't see the nearby airport automatically, although maybe we need to get closer. CYSB. So we can tune in traffic. This is incorrect. This is implying that the Sudbury Airport is an uncontrolled airport with no tower, where we just do the announcement of traffic. Hey, I'm coming to the pattern. Hey, I'm landing, get out of my way, YOLO kind of thing. But there's actually a tower there, but it's not being simulated in 2024. We can tune into the ATIS though.
Sudbury Airport Information Uniform 2000 Zulu.
Okay. Wincom.
Visibility 9er.
This scrolls faster than the text, which is annoying.
Temperature 15. Dew point 1 tree. Altimeter 29er 2.
Oh yeah, we're on default weather, not real weather.
ILS runway 22 in use. Landing and departing runway 22.
Okay. We don't need that to repeat. I don't really want to do the radio stuff, but that's okay. I just wanted to confirm that there was no winds, so we can choose. We can just choose whatever runway. I mean, they're like, oh, this is the active. Nope, I don't care what the active runway is. I'm just doing whatever I want. So what we're going to do is we're going to load in a approach procedure. ILS 22 sounds great. Who needs to implement any minimums? We're not going to do that. And let's. Oh, is this one where I have to activate the cursor? Oh, no, I have to choose the transition. Oh, yeah, one of these. Both of these, the approach is basically the same. It's whether we're approaching sort of from the left side or the right side. I think this will be from the left. Well, depending on point of view. From the west. I think this waypoint that I put in is from the west. So we'll activate and load. GPS guidance for monitoring only. Load approach A. That's fine. That's okay. All right, so that's going to change this because we're not going directly to the airport. We're going slightly to the west of the airport first to hit that waypoint, which is okay. Actually, I think I'm supposed to be above 3,500 feet for the approach. So I think I should dial that in. And let's just request a flight level change. I don't know what marker was just kicking in there. Flight level. And throttle up a little bit. And what I'm going to do actually is just up. So we'll try to maintain 170 knots while throttling up, which means with flight level change, the airplane will pitch up. There we go. Okay. How far are we? Where's our... Okay, about 8 minutes. Get to that waypoint. All right. I don't know if we're going to pass over anything interesting along the way. I wonder if this is part of the Vermilion River. I'm not sure. Sudbury's IATA code is YSB. They were lucky. It makes sense. Yeah. Actually, okay. So the airport, you know, I usually use the 4-letter code. Is that the IATA code? Anyway, with the like CYSB, all the Canadian airports. I think other than a few. There's a few that don't follow the pattern. Bandwidth too low. Sure. Yeah, I definitely don't have enough bandwidth. It's my problem. I'm sure it's not the servers having an issue again. But anyway, YSB is interesting to me because there is also a beacon, a radio tower out over there. We open up this and center on the plane, please. Thank you. And then zoom out. There's good. See YSB. If I zoom in enough, we will see there is this bad boy. Right? Oh, it's like, what is this? Well, let's go for more info. Right? So this little radio tower. This with the ICAO of YSB. So it says type DME. This used to be, so this radio station at 112.3. This used to be a VUR DME. You used to be able to use this to use your radio instruments to find your way to the airport. And I was very confused when I did my test flight yesterday, when I did get into the server, and I was doing my favorite flight from Manitoulin to Sudbury. I was very confused as to why my radios would never, ever picked up this station. Because these things do have a maximum range, and I'm used to when I start that flight, for the first 10 minutes or so, out of range for the radios, but then it picks up and I can confirm that I'm going in the right direction directly to the airport. And it never happened. And I'm like, I kept checking, did I tune in right? Did I make a mistake? No, I didn't make a mistake. Oh my God, there must be a bug going on in the simulation. This radio system doesn't work. When I get close enough to the Sudbury airport, I can pick up the ILS, so I can confirm that part was working, but I could never get my nav radios locked onto this VOR. Well, it turns out a few years ago, it stopped being a VOR. It only provides the DME, the distant measuring equipment, and that's it. And I hadn't realized that. And in fact, I go back to Flight Simulator 2020 now, and it has had its like mapping information updated. Yeah, it doesn't work in there either. It used to work. My flight that I used to do from Manitoulin to Sudbury all the time with no GPS, I would just tune into this radio. And yeah, that's not there. So what annoys me is, and of course all modern planes are going to have all this integrated GPS stuff built into it. But what if you're flying an older plane, right? In fact, if I fly the Cessna 152, which has no GPS built in any way whatsoever, how do I navigate other than pure and true visual rules where I'm like looking out and being like, okay, I'm going to follow this highway along the way to make sure I don't get lost. Like that makes me sad. So on the flight, I just sort of go, I think it's about 59 degrees, somewhere around 60 that I generally follow from the airport in Manitoulin to Sudbury. As long as I keep that general heading, I will very easily find Sudbury. And then from there, I do navigate just following the roads. Of course, you do also have your tablet over here with the built-in GPS. Like, you do have this in-game, which is okay. All right, anytime now, we should be coming up to the point to make a turn. Let me throttle back a little. Should really be going through some checklists before landing. But yeah, it's not... Go down here. Yeah, Epses and Uksut, yeah, it doesn't show up. But lined up with running 822, somewhere out here, is Uksut that we're coming up on. Oh, Zikup. Okay, must be where this plane is going, actually. It's probably over here. We're going to make the right turn, and because that's one of the waypoints along the way. And if we check, yeah, we have to be above 3,500 feet, or at or above 3,500 feet at Upsus and Uksut. We do have 3,500 feet locked in. Barometer is set okay, so that's fine. So yeah, we're not supposed to go any lower than that. And then after that, after we make our right turn, as soon as we're past Uksut, then we are good to start our descent. And in fact, we should be able to pick up the glide slope at that point. Now, here's something I don't know on this plane. I know I used to know it. What do you mean landing gear? Okay, I'm way too slow. Sorry. Yep, we're gonna stall and die. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's okay. I just went to full throttle, and that is taking a long time to spin up. Am I out of gas? No. Why are we accelerating so slowly? I'm on full power. I have my flaps fully deployed, and I didn't realize it. Oh, I forgot! I did deploy them at some point. It's okay, guys. I'm a great pilot. Everything's fine. Okay, let's go back to landing gear 1. Or flaps 1. Okay, never mind. Oh, I picked the wrong one. I was going to say, this feels weird. I picked the one on the east instead of the west. Everything about this felt a little weird, so we're overshooting that way, closing in front of this plane. We're just going to ignore this plane and pretend it doesn't exist so that we've got the skies to ourselves. Yeah, so there we go. We're going to go here. Now we're going to make a left turn, and then we're going to hit a waypoint over here. I think there's... not nearest airports. Oops. Profile view. Maybe it is in here somewhere. Waypoints are listed, but it's clearly not listing all of them. Anyway, the left turn is about to happen. Okay.
Sudbury traffic generic Charlie Golf Alpha Uniform 4 miles northeast inbound ILS runway 22.
Top descent within 1 minute. Okay. It's going to want to descend to 2,600. Although no, we know I have to wait until I'm past Uksut over here before I can descend. So I have to keep the 3,500 dialed in. For sure. Oh, you don't think B must be doing something else. B deploys flaps. That's what's going on. So I'm used to having, because I hate fiddling with this thing. When you hear the air pressure, You go in here and you start fiddling with this little knob to get your barometric pressure set right. In particular, it's really annoying on the old analog things like the 152 or the non-G1000 172 because you don't actually get a numeric feedback where you are. So you're trying to like fiddle with it correctly, and I hate. So I'm used to having B the hotkey that correctly sets your barometer. But in MF in 2024, B lowers your flaps. That's why we had full flaps and it was throwing me off so much. Okay. All right, coming around. All right, next up, Zika, perfect. Okay, so now I can start my descent. So let's do this. I will deploy one level of flaps and I will say, okay. And I'm gonna dial it down to like that and just allow this system to go and take over.
75 miles southwest inbound visual runway 04.
Enable VNav. You should start to descend. VLT path. Ooh, I don't know. But also, we should be able to engage approach mode. And here's, okay, let me pause for a sec. This is actually something I'm not sure how to set. I don't know how to make it so that I can see, oh, I think, are we above the glide slope? I think we are actually. See this and see the localizer? We should be tuned. This should have automatically tuned us. Why are you still doing radio stuff? I'm paused, my dude. Maybe the world's not paused. Maybe it only paused my plane. That's entirely possible. Where do I check the radios? Oh, right, it's down here. It must be visible somewhere else. I mean, maybe there's some soft keys or something I could hit. I don't know. But yeah, if we go down to NavCom over here, and then click Audio and Radios, we can check that our nav... Okay, this is something I'm actually a little confused about. I don't think it's 110.5. It's supposed to auto-set with the procedures, but I feel like the ILS is 110.30, but I might be just wrong about that. Runway 22. See? ILS 110.30, and I was having that same issue where it feels like the auto-tuning, and I think these frequencies were put in automatically by procedure. I might be wrong about that, but I feel like it was setting the wrong radio here. How do we actually set this? All I'm doing is setting the audio. Oh, there we go. So yeah, 110.30. Okay, you are now live. Ah, there we go. Okay, so the purple marker is the flight plan from the FMS. This diamond here is the GPS. I knew there was something missing that weren't right over here. Okay, but yeah, with the procedures, I mean, maybe that doesn't apply to this plane, but usually with the FMF and with the procedures, it will tune the nav things for you. I know ILS is not GPS, but a lot of these will feed in those frequencies for you automatically, which is kind of nice. But anyway, okay, so we can confirm that that's there. We are slightly to the left of the localizer, which seems fine. We are below the glide slope, which is perfect. So in fact, what I want to do here when we unpause, I had hit approach mode. That is lit. I think if I were to tell this to not descend, if I were to tell this, in fact, I mean, you're already on a little bit of, let's kind of leave it, let's leave it here, just a slightly lower where we are in case you start to descend. If I've got approach mode locked on over here, I hope that if we were to just fly into the glide slope, it would then lock onto that and use it. Yeah, I can pop this out onto a second monitor. You guys wouldn't see it, but yeah, you can pop it out and put it in a separate window and have it on another monitor, which is actually very convenient for lots of stuff. I could go through the checklist to make sure I'm configured for this, but I feel like it's probably okay. I don't know. Let's find out. Let's unpause. Okay. So what should be happening here? I mean, I know if I hit the active nav over here, I can just switch it over to nav 1. I was just kind of hoping it would engage this automatically. I'm not entirely sure if it will, which might leave us a little unprepared for what's going to happen next, but let's find out. Okay, deploying a level of flap, which is going to kill some speed. I also don't know the landing speeds of this plane. Oh no, see, we're above.
Landing gear. Landing gear.
I agree. Landing gear. We're above. So if I switch this... Okay. I don't want to click on the yoke. I want to click on this, please. No, I don't... I don't want to click on the yoke. Go higher? Aim down more like this? Oh, it's a soft key. Okay, never mind. Sorry, I'm being dumb. I mean, it still was weird that it was doing the yoke visibility hitbox, but sure, fair enough. Okay, so we switch this. Will this correctly do what I'm hoping? You're on roll. Did approach? Okay, there we go. Localizer. So that's the process I'm not sure about, and I'm gonna have to double check the documentation for the right order to have this switch from we're following the SMS to we're following the localizer and glide slope. There's the approach button, which I'd hit, but didn't seem to have done it. Maybe we have to be straight on the localizer first, but then... I mean, that's often the way to do it. You got to be on the localizer first and then engage this, but... Yeah, I don't know what the process is. But, okay, I'm still hands off. I've got the autopilot. It is on localizer. Oh, I don't think it's descending right now. No. Let me instruct you that you can do some vertical speed. Over here. Speaking of speed, it's low, but fine. Okay, this is in white. I think it will auto-capture it. You're supposed to capture it from the bottom, not from the top like this. I have the runway in sight. I should probably just take it off autopilot at this point, but do this. Let me throttle back a little bit more. Deploy more flaps. Okay, flaps are full. Gears out. Okay. Are we going to capture this? I really should be on manual, but I want to see... And we might be inviting a crash here. Will it lock to the glide slope? Yes! Okay. Okay. And not the ideal order for how we do it, but good. And now I should really just be on full manual mode to do the final approach. Okay, that should be that's the outer marker. I don't know what the distances are for the markers. Oh, I guess about 4 nautical miles. Is it 124? The outer marker as you're flying over a particular beacon. It's not on auto land. This plane doesn't have auto land. It won't do the full flare and everything, but it'll get us close. All right, let's make sure. Foot pedals are in a place where I can reach them, mostly. Really wish there's got to be a place. I wonder, I open this up and I go to plane and I go to in-flight, Yeah, again, there's a calculator for like these landing speeds and stuff, but it never seems to fill out, so I don't know what the deal is. All I want is a reference of like the general thing. I'm betting it's probably slower than this. There's a little green dot. I don't know if that's representing the approach speed. I think it's a little faster than with our Cessna 172, but not by much. All right, we got 3 green on the landing gear. The flaps are fully deployed. Lights goes good. I think there's PAPI lights on the other side, but I don't think there is on this side, because I think for this runway, I think they almost more or less require you to be doing an ILS approach on it. Okay. It looks like we're not aligned to the runway. And yet we're definitely on the localizer. I think we're crabbing a little, I think is what's happening, actually. Okay, oh, I don't have a hotkey for the release autopilot. All right. Disengage. Speeds 83. Falling a little, so I'll just throttle up a bit. And I don't know what my landing speed is. And there you go. So we're coming in on our angle. It's really weird that this localizer was bringing us in at an angle like that. All right, let's burn off a little more speed. I think we were supposed to be lower, but we'll just land a little further into the runway. Okay, oh, there's a red line. Okay. All right. I don't like that I can't see the runway when I'm, you know, starting to flare up like this. Feels bad, bro. Has anyone got any toast? I don't know what to do with all this butter. Yeah, definitely a float. Well, part of it is because I descended quite quickly, and then I had to let a little bit more speed bleed off. You know, you're supposed to sort of touch down in that touchdown spot at the one end of the runway. But so if I just hit enter, what happens? Like with these radios. So I don't know if that just hitting enter hotkey is just for the missions, or if it's supposed to be fairly like context aware. Oh, can we line up the camera like this, please? Or if it's supposed to be like relatively context aware ATC communication. It didn't seem to do anything this time. Flaps up, taxi lights on. Turn off nav, strobe, and landing lights, just leaving on the beacon and the taxi lights. Okay. There we are. Yeah, not this. That's the weather. Announce taxi to parking.
Sudbury traffic Dahar Charlie. Foxtrot Golf Lima Papa is taxiing to parking.
Am I getting... I guess I'm not getting taxiing directions. We'll just park up here. I don't think this is a parking place, but I don't care. Woo! Almost clipped that wing! It's fine! Alright. I think you're there. Shut down the plane. Using the lazy mode. Off, 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 all switches. I think it's supposed to probably idle for a little bit before we actually go full shutdown. But there we go. And then if we hit end flight, we can add that to our flight log. Not for our career mode. But there we go. Now, we do need to end the stream, but what we can do is take a quick look at a bigger plane, just momentarily. So let's say we wanted to take a look at a plane I enjoy flying quite a lot, which is the Airbus the 320 Neo here. There's also the 321, but I've experience with this guy. So let's say we did that, and let's just pretend we're taking off at Sudbury, just because we're there and nothing else needs to be loaded, but I won't necessarily put any kind of destination or anything like that. This is where I was experiencing some weirdness. You'll see in just a second. Yeah, electric's off before fuel cut. Really? I mean, not the battery. Avionics could be off first, but you had to stream that airplane in for us. All right. So, wait for it. There we go. Ready to fly. All right, great. Okay. So, one of the things I said was a little bit weird here is, let's say we were on this screen with the flight planner, and let's say I, so add, wait, can I not configure any of this right now? Was I supposed to do all of it on the other screen? Click, 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 click. Huh. Anyway, what I was gonna say is you can have a flight plan in here. Right, we could. I can't even load /save. I could definitely do that before. This is weirding me out a little bit. There's a reset, but it's also grayed out. None of this makes... Oh, right. Here's the other thing that's annoying. So I'm trying to backspace what's in this field, right? My cursor's in there. I can type some flight level. If I hit backspace, outside view, inside view, outside view, inside view, outside view, inside view, outside view, inside view. It's also a problem where it takes other hotkeys. If you're typing stuff in some of these fields, you're doing keyboard inputs, or you're doing flight instrument inputs at the same time. Now that is exclusive to this. If I use this bad boy, which is part of the A320, this is actually quite smart, because I can type in here and it says aircraft control disabled when inputting text with physical keyboard, and I can type like this and it doesn't do a dumb. So we can do this. It is a little bit dangerous because one of the things you can do over here is just this panel state key interface, which is really handy if you want to force your plane to be in a particular state. Like if we'd want to start cold and dark, like which would have been the case if we'd started in a parking spot. But let's say I want to reset us to cold and dark. I could hit this button. These buttons seem to work anytime. I don't know, maybe they disable in the air. But there was no warning. Like when because I'd done some work and then I saw this, I'm like, panel state, what does this do? This just like, does it bring up more info? So I clicked on this and it reset my plane to basically the exact state it's in now, after I'd done a bunch of other prep work with the flight computer and things. So we'll have to try it in the air and see what happens. I'm hoping these actually grow out in the air, but there was no warning. Like it was just, whoop, all my work was done and I got to restart the process again, which is a little frustrating. But yeah, now, I mean, for a flight plan, we can just do it like this way over here. Yeah, okay, so you're getting me tons of errors, which is fair enough. Boom, boom, boom. Wait for system response. Sure, there we go. We confirm all this, everything is good. And then I could be like, okay, so we're gonna initialize, we're gonna say we're gonna fly from CYSB to CYYZ. Boom. Put that in. We'll do a cost index 0. We're going to cruise at, say, flight level 310. Our flight numbers, I don't know, we're flight number 18. Just to put that in. Cool, that's good. IRS is all looking groovy. Excellent. So we've got that. And then for our actual flight plan over here, I can click Sudbury. We're departing from... should be, yeah, runway 22, as I was going to say, is basically the only active one ever. So our departure is going to be from runway 22. And yeah, we'll use a standard departure. I don't think we need any transition or anything like that, so we'll just insert that in there. Great. And we might not necessarily know what approach we're going to be told to take in Toronto. In practice, at this point, with our flight plan that we would have gotten from our airline and things like that, and Toronto at this point would be running most likely, a particular active runway or two, and we would sort of know about it, and we'd be able to put in what we expect, but we could always change it. But yeah, at some point in our destination, we will go and specify some sort of approach runway in there. But that'll do our first departure, which ain't much. It's literally just fly straight and then do another thing. So we can just set our direct. But what we're going to try is we're just trying to take off and see what things feel like. Now, without following the checklist, it's actually quite tricky, in my opinion, to get everything configured, especially if we want the auto takeoff. These speeds, again, the calculator in here, which feels like they're supposed to be, this calculator here for your takeoff, when you give it a particular runway and stuff, it never seems to do anything. I'm taking off from runway 22. We'll call it dry. On flaps 1. And I can do this, and if I do this, it brings us back to this screen, where it shows us 22 and gives us the length of the runway, and gives us these placeholders for V1, VR, and V2. Now, maybe there's some other process for getting this to work. Like, I mean, I haven't loaded any cargo with seats, but that's fine. Leave them empty. I don't care. Load an aircraft, maybe, to... Like, I don't know if there is, like, what the trick is, or if it's just broken to get this to fill out these numbers, which is a little bit annoying. If we did make a flight plan in SimBrief, which is an amazing free tool that I use all the time, it will calculate how much weight you've got. It will figure out a lot of your speeds and things for you. You can load it in, and it would probably help to get access to it. We've got this takeoff screen here. This, maybe I can do it here. Runway 22, do. If I sync, are you getting the winds and everything? Nice. Our current weight, good. And then calculate. Limitation, runway length. Yeah, so the runway's maybe a little shorter than we'd like for this, but we're going to call that fine. Can it auto-feed these in? 119. Sometimes with these yellow marked ones, if you just click, it says not allowed. Okay, on the fly-by-wire version of the A320 Neo, once it's calculated over here in the flight plan stuff, it will just let you like click and autofill it in, saving you from typing, but that's fine. We're going to say 119. We're going to say 119 over here, and 121, 122. 1, 2, 2. Feed that in. We're going to take off with flaps 1 set. Is this enough to get all the auto throttle stuff working for us? Or did I forget? We're not going to do flex to temp or anything. We'll leave those in. We'll just do a full power takeoff. Maybe? Does anyone know? Configuring this. So auto throttle. Oh. You say you're on. I don't see a little light. I see no indication that the auto throttle is actually engaged. It tells me in the tooltip that it's on. Now it's telling me in the tooltip that it's off. But it's not lighting up and giving me anything over here. I suspect the tooltip is lying. Oh, also, is one of my engines off? Why is engine 2 not on? Okay, well, first of all, part of the problem might be, again, if it's pulling in anything from my controls down here, it may have been doing something weird. Okay, everything is still currently stable, which is good. Start. Yeah, engine 1 master is on. Ignition start position. We have actively functioning bleeds, although maybe I should turn on the APU. Oh, I have to hit the button, don't I? No, that's just the warning. That's not a button. Get you back to normal. Let's see. I don't know why the engine died in the first place. I mean, I could turn on the APU. I think the engine 2, or engine 1, whichever one, the one on the left, which is probably 1, should be able to start just from the bleeds from the other one. I don't think I need the APU. But, master switch on, APU start. Because the bleeds for one engine should start the other. I don't know why it was off in the first place. I'm just worried that it may have read some things over here. But that's going to be one of the problems with, we're not going to take off with just one engine. I mean, I could use the shortcut to start it. Okay. You master on. Oh yeah, because there's no power coming through here. I'm not sure the APU is running either. I mean, here's the thing. I'm trying to do things half-assed, so it's entirely possible that I missed a step to get that started. But I'm pretty sure... There we go. Maybe I hadn't waited long enough. I'm not sure that I saw the start button illuminate last time. So the APU is this bit. It's another little turbine. It's just used for generating some power and the bleed air, the air pressure that is used for things. Okay, the APU is coming on. I still don't think I need this on. There may have been another process to start the second engine properly. So I just want to see if this is everything we need. We like to see the dots here for the speed, the heading. That's all good. And then we dial in here whatever altitude we're sort of approved of for our initial takeoff, which, whatever. Say we just got permission to go straight up to 15,000. And there might be a step I'm missing for the engine start. You can hear the air stop because all the bleeds pressure should be getting redirected to the engine. Nah, I'm missing something. Engine switch needs to be on start. I mean, that's the engine switch on start right now. Yeah, packs off. That's what I'm saying about the packs. I could manually turn packs off. I don't believe that's one of the normal steps involved here. But it's entirely possible. APU bleed on. Okay, which is on by default. Let's try this one more time. For the others, if it doesn't work, I'll just use the auto key. Oh, there we go. Hold on. There we go. APU bleed on is going. Maybe if I turned off the packs on the other one, then maybe that would have given us enough air pressure. But enabling the APU bleed is giving us enough to start bootstrapping the engine. You just need something to get it spinning in the first place. Hey, I wonder what turned off the engine. I'm wondering if it's because the key on this yoke, which is not, you don't fly an Airbus with a yoke. You use a joystick. And I do have the actual Airbus branded joystick and throttle section, which is really nice. I'm not convinced this engine's starting. It's taking a long time to get up here. This ignition thing should go off at some point. I strongly suspect if I flick this back to normal, it's not actually doing a successful start. Okay. Control E. Force it to do it for me. I'm disappointed. I really wanted to manage to set this up properly on my own. Engine's frozen, yeah. But now it's properly coming up. So there's some step, and it may have had to do with the bleeds or something that borked it. Whether you do your takeoff with your APU on or not, I believe varies based on different airline procedures. We'll leave it on for now because we don't care about its wear and tear. Our start position for the throttle. Well, that's what this is. I mean, the engine master was on. I don't think there's another start position. It's a little... Sometimes I get confused between the Airbus and the Boeing. But I'm pretty sure that was it. Okay. Engine available. Good. All right. Now, there's a takeoff configuration button. Does it program? Nope. Everything is blank, so I guess we're configured for takeoff. There we go. Dot that out. I'm still not sure that the auto throttle... Maybe that's not on auto throttle arm. Is it possible that's not auto throttle arm? That's just whether it's active or not? I don't know. TCAS standby. This is kind of an odd warning to me because it says TCAS standby, but if we look, the TCAS isn't in standby mode. It is in the traffic radar mode. I can't remember what those stand for. It's actually this little Alt RPTG that's complaining about it. I'm not sure if that's accurate or not, but it's there. Backs off leads for start. Yeah, maybe turning off the bleeds. Anyway. Let's go for takeoff. We'll see if the auto throttle engages. Now, what I don't like, since I'm not... Okay. When I use the Airbus branded throttle section, which is amazing, what's great is the throttle actually has these little, like... I don't know if détente's the right word, but little clicking spots where it locks in at the different spots. It feels very satisfying. Throttle section I've got is not, it's just a continuous thing, so I don't feel these little latch parts. But in theory, I'm just going to be whacking it to the max and seeing what happens. What could possibly go wrong? Parking brake off. Throttle to full toga position. Toga, toga, toga. It does say manual toga, though. Takeoff inhibit. What means? I don't know. Whatever. V1 rotate. Pull. Oh shite. I still don't know the gear hotkey. Landing gear up! Oh my god, you don't want to be doing this! Okay. The auto throttle light is on. Okay. Lever to climb position. Here's where I hate where I can't feel it. There you go. Thrust climb. In theory, the auto throttle is on, and we can put the autopilot in there. It should be getting speed limitations from our flight management system, which apparently here we don't have a speed limit. I think taking out of Toronto, we have to limit ourselves to no more than 180 knots below 10K. But here, it looks like it's targeting 245 knots. Sure, fine. Seatbelt sight was on. It's on auto. Or active, but in any case, they're on. Okay. And yeah, I believe all our lights are on, including the landing lights. Like, we're going to note that. I don't think I need all of them on, especially at this point, but it's fine. You know what? We'll keep ourselves fully lit. Let's get lit. Climb's going well. Again, we're currently on the... Right. The standard instrument departure here was just fly straight to a certain altitude, then do stuff. We don't have a then do stuff. Apparently we have a lat discount ahead. Oh, lateral discontinuity. Okay, that makes a ton of sense. Anyway, we're just going to fly direct. Wait for system response. That's so weird. Fly direct towards Toronto, please. Boom, done. Okay, there we go. We're going to be doing a left turn, and we're flying direct to Toronto. And then at some point when we get closer, we'll confirm what runway we're going to use, and we'll punch in those approaches. Speed lock system, approaching the altitude. Let's assume we now have our clearance to go up to, I don't know, 31,000 feet. And transition altitudes come in now, so we should be getting a warning. Oh, actually, that is a different sound. I need to give it a little right click to lock in the 31. That little sound was that we were getting within 1,000 feet of our previous locked in altitude, which was 11,000. So we get the duk duk duk, but that has been cleared. We're still climbing, which is good. But when does this start blinking to remind us that we're not on standard barometer reference? Oh, maybe I never programmed in the transition altitude. That might be part of it. Anyway, if we go and there we go. It's middle click is maybe push and, or sorry, right click is like push, middle click is pull, or vice versa. So now we're in standard over here. So that's good. We're getting our speed reported in Mach. Climbing well. We're on our way to Toronto. That was okay. So we did get the auto throttle figured out. Didn't do the thing. Again, if I just go over here, the checklists are some parts of the checklist, and again, I don't know why it keeps defaulting to small. Some parts of the checklist work quite well. It still has the feature where when you're doing things, so let's say over here, when you're doing things and you're trying to figure things out, you can click this to look at it, which is very convenient. That's great. I think they've lost the feature to have your co-pilot do some of these steps for you kind of automatically. You can see here, like so if we check like before engine start, pushback, ATC, everything is closed, beacon's on, thrust lever, idle, parking brake is on, second one, close, beacon, throttle to idle, parking brake, engine start selector, put it to ignition start, which is that knob we were putting in the middle over there. Then set the master to on. Maybe that's, oh, you know what? I wonder if I should have flicked the engine switch to off, then put the ignition master, then flicked it on. Maybe I would have done that, because you'll notice there's nothing in here about packs or bleeds. I know you're confirming some of those things earlier on, but you're not actually turning the packs on and off for your starting thing. I think if you're flying like the Boeing like 747s and that era, then I think those have steps to toggle the bleeds off. Or toggle the packs off. You want the bleeds. So the bleed is you're bleeding air out of the engine and pulling it into the airplane systems for stuff. And I think the packs are like the air conditioners and things. So I think you disable the packs, you're not using the engines to provide air conditioning and things. You're having the maximum pressure from the bleed available to start your engines. But there's not that sequence in here. Are you used to the 737? Yeah. I've done a lot of flying on the fly-by-wire A320 Neo. And so that's the thing. Like I've played a little with the Boeings, but basically I've been converted to Airbus, like by far. I really like the sort of philosophy for the Airbus in general. So yeah, so like I was pretty sure about that. But maybe for the start, maybe the problem is the switch was already in the on position. Maybe you flick it back down to off. I'm not sure. I'm not certain. Oh, interesting. The APU automatically turned itself off. Oh, wait, maybe when I did the auto engine start, it might have turned off the APU afterwards. That might have been it. Like Flight Concord, yeah. I just rewatched the Mayday episode. By the way, Mayday is a wonderful TV show. I didn't realize it was Canadian. I'd assumed it was British because it has a British narrator. But apparently it's a Canadian produced show that's been around for like 20 years at this point, something like that. And they report on like air disasters. I think they've done a couple of like boat things and maybe one train thing, but basically just air disasters. But it feels more like a procedural police drama than anything else. Because it's like, all right, here's, we've got, the dramatization of the crash happening, but it's all based on like flight recorder stuff, radar stuff, interviews. It's all very realistic, very grounded. So they give you like, the sort of recreation of the dramatization of the accident. And then it's like, and then the NTSB arrived, and here's everything we checked out. Well, first we need to find this part, then we did this. Oh, we thought we might be this. So we made these tests, we did these tests. Oh, that didn't work out. That's not the hypotheses. We did this. And then we found out this. And then we did this. And in the end, we discovered these were the 3 things that all contributed to the crash. And here's the recommendations that we put in. And here's why this will never happen again. It's amazing. It's so satisfying. And all the episodes are like on YouTube. They've got like 15 seasons worth on their official YouTube channel. Wonderful show. Whether you like plain stuff, whether you like procedural mystery stuff, it's got it all, baby. So I can't remember what got me started on that, but yeah, I've been rewatching. Oh, I just rewatched the one for the Concorde accident, which the Concorde accident isn't the thing that doomed the Concorde. The problem is with the Concorde, it was ridiculously expensive to run. The fuel prices were going up like crazy, and this thing just drank fuel like mad. Turns out it wasn't necessarily a very comfortable ride. Yet it was a short trip to, from London to New York or whatever, or from Paris to New York, but it wasn't a trip that was entirely comfortable, and maybe having the trip be a couple hours slower, but be everything, So it was like the market for the Concorde, and it was like 1960s technology. So everything was coming to, probably the Concorde was coming to the end anyway. But then that accident on takeoff, which was really a real fluke accident, but that wouldn't have helped a lot of the things. Oh yeah, and the sonic boom meant they actually couldn't fly supersonic most of the time over cities because it caused huge problems, and it was like just over and over again. We can get rid of this no smoking enunciation over here if we just flick our no smoking sign from on to auto. That'll get rid of it there. You also hear the little chimes. What I like about the fly-by-wire is as you flick these things, so seatbelt sign is on auto, which is interesting. I don't know what actually governs with the A320 when it automatically turns the seatbelt signs on and off. It might be auto-programmed into what phase of flight we're in, or the proximity to ground, or altitude or something. I don't know if it automatically sets it on if it detects turbulence. I'm not sure, but it's not on right now. So I can flick it on, and we'll see it confirmed. Actually, we don't see it. Oh, there it is. Confirms the seatbelt sign is on. And we could see the seatbelt sign was on when we did our takeoff. At some point, it turned itself off automatically. And of course, we can just set it off completely. What I like about the fly-by-wire plane, in addition to being a billion times more accurate than Mace 1, is just like, how is this not accurate? Oh, this is such a cotton candy kindergarten interpretation of A320 we're playing here. This is baby's first A320 over here, despite the fact that at this point the built-in one is pretty freaking thorough. The fly-by-wire brings it to a hugely more extreme level of realism and integration with more systems and the flight management and things like that. And then there's the payware one from a company. Is it Phoenix? I can't remember what it's called, but apparently it's like even the next level up. But it's like, I think it's something like £60 to buy. And I was like, no, I'm fine with, honestly, the built-in one is pretty decent. And I just use the fly-by-wire one in 2020. Yeah, Scrit C. I didn't know about that one until I heard about it in a episode of Lateral, Tom Scott's Lateral. There was an airport, I believe it's the Ottawa airport. They'd made this fancy one, this huge glass sort of like the main building where the passengers go in. I don't know if that's correctly referred to as the airport or the aerodrome or something else entirely, but it was really nice and glass. And then on opening day, they had a plane fly over, go supersonic, sonic boom, broke all the windows. On opening day, they had to immediately close the airport for 8 months and rebuild it rebuild all the glass paneling and then do it in a different way so that sonic booms wouldn't destroy the place. Amazing. Anyway, we got where's the estimated time of arrival on here? Does it not list it on any of these screens? I'm sorry, did that number just go up? Did that not say 51 nautical miles a second ago? How are we getting farther away from Toronto? Are we not actually flying to Toronto? Not that I would ever do a navigational error in any way whatsoever. No, we're clearly flying south towards Toronto. Right? There's it's showing up in a zoom level. There it is. CYYZ is clearly the direction we're flying in. What is this distance to? Now, as we fly around, it keeps locking on to various nearby VORs for references and showing you the distance to that. So this is our distance to YVV, right? Which is locked on both radios. But that's not what this 59 nautical miles is. This could be how far we are from CYSB, where we just took off. Or is this total flight distance? But it seems bad. Why wouldn't this be, if this is showing me, hey, you're flying towards CYYZ, which is correct. I would kind of expect this to be showing me the distance to that, and maybe an estimated time of arrival. I don't know if there's a place we can get it. In here too? Okay, yeah, and it's not a 352 bearing. I don't know why it's saying CYYZ. I mean, unless that was our, like, from its point of view, our orientation, but the distance is right. I don't know what this is representing. Huh. And yeah, this is our UTC time, our Zulu time over here, not local time. Oh, here's a complaint I have with Flight Simulator 2024. In Flight Simulator 2020, which came out 4 years ago, one of the things that's always bugged me is there's the ability to accelerate the sim rate, right? If you're doing you're doing a transatlantic flight, you don't necessarily want to sit here for 6 hours and babysit that over in a straight line over the ocean. So you're going to use some time compression. You're going to increase the sim rate so that, for every minute of real life that goes by, maybe 8 minutes of in-game time go by. So you can increase the sim rate by just having it just run faster. But what always annoyed me in Flight Simulator 2020 is there was nowhere in the game that it would show you what your current sim rate multiplier is. If you were going at ×2 speed or ×4 speed or ×8 speed, that wasn't represented anywhere on screen. Similarly, you could go below 1. You could simulate the game at half speed or quarter speed, get some cool slow motion shots. Nowhere on screen did it show you that. And I always thought, surely, by the time they get around to Flight Simulator 2024, they're going to make it so that when you change your sim rate, it's going to show up somewhere on screen. It doesn't have to stay on, but it could just, in the top corner, when you toggle it, just for a few seconds, show it go X2, X4, X8, or something like that. Nope, still nothing. Zero visual representation showing you what it is. And to make matters worse, I'm pretty sure, and I might be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure that one of the things you could do, and I'm sure I did this often, in Flight Simulator 2020, is when you were simming faster, your clocks would tick faster. And when you're simming slower, your clocks would tick slower, which makes perfect sense. That doesn't happen here. I'm going to go and just wail on the sim rate button, which theoretically has been implemented here. We could keep an eye. Oh, here's another slight thing. I can hide the sunshade over here. I have no idea how to get that back. I guess it's not retracting. Some of these retract, so you can toggle them backwards. I guess it's a hook thing, so it must be getting stowed somewhere. I'm just now realizing. Oh, is it? Hold on, it might be behind. That's where it is. Oh, you pull it up and then you hook it. Okay, that's what it is. Anyway, we're going to do this just so we can look at the ground. So as I accelerate, because we've got a little bit of sense of motion here, right? I accelerate the sim rate. There we go. We're clearly going faster than normal speed. Okay. And the problem is, especially the more complex planes, let's bring this down. Sometimes the autopilots can't quite handle the sim rate that much faster. Let's just do it a couple of notches. Okay, still clearly faster. I suspect I'm probably on ×4 speed right now. I think ×8 may have been a little bit too much. But if we look at the clock, so again, what you could do in 2020, you could at least confirm that you're going faster because the clocks would clearly move faster than once per second. 1 10,000, 1 1,000, 1 1,000, 1 1,000. That looks like it's clicking at 1 second per second to me. Hang on, are they clicking at different rates? Because they weren't in sync, now they look kind of in sync. Bye. Sorry. Anyway, they're clearly not going at faster than actual speed. And so the clock might be actual real time, but I mean, this is clearly not going at like ×2 or ×4 speed. That's the thing that's getting me. And we're clearly going much faster. We're going much faster. This is not 1.1 times speed or 1.5 times speed. This has got at least ×4, if not ×8. Now, again, you could sort of confirm in 2020 that you're off because you'd see this ticking like way fast. Yeah, and I think the UTC is, and I actually don't hate that the clock, that the current time, see, these are basically in sync now. Every now and again they slightly break out of sync, but they're mostly clicking at the same rate. Just not quite, but it's clearly not ×4, so I'm really confused. And then, how do we confirm what the regular speed is? Well, again, in 2020, I think 1/4 was the slowest speed. So what I mostly do is hit the slow down button an infinite number of times, and then advance it twice. And theoretically end up at ×1 speed. I'm not sure that's the case here, because I'm not convinced that we're moving hardly at all. But there's no on-screen indication of what the sim rate is, which is terrible. Okay, I'm gonna say the chronometer definitely goes based on your actual sim speed, because it's not moving. But I don't know how slow we're going now. So I guess I've sort of got to click this until the chronometer... Oh my god, I guess it lets you go a lot slower than 1/4. Everything's hung. Oh, I think the game crashed. Oh, wait, no, maybe I accidentally went to warp speed. Okay, slow down. Now, here's the solution in 2020 for all these complaints I'm talking about. There's a great little plugin. Actually, there's a few different plugins that you can get that will give you a little on-screen tool to let you see and click your sim rate. Yeah, it's not responding at all. So, yeah, we've gone plaid, sir, exactly. And one of those tools... nice slideshow. One of those tools will get updated to Microsoft 2024. I have no idea... Oh, there you go, it responds. And I'm back to running on super slow speed, I'm sure, because I just hit the sim slowdown speed a bunch. But I have no idea how to reset it, which is frustrating. If we go and take a look at the controls over here, and we search for sim rate. So the default sim rate key is Alt-4. I think it was Control-4 in the previous one, but it's Alt-4. And then it says use plus and minus keys to change. So the way it worked actually in the previous ones, you do Control-R, and then you use Control plus and minus to change the speed. But you can also just put these in. There's no reset sim rate button. And there wasn't in 2020 either, which seems insane. Why wouldn't you have a button, especially if you don't show the damn thing on screen, that sets you back to default ×1 speed? So the problem is, once you've interacted with the sim rate button in the engine, I have no idea how to get back to normal speed. Ever. So I'll hit it a couple of times on the faster. Chronometer still isn't moving. I'll hit a couple times more. Chronometer still isn't moving. Couple of times more. And more. More. And more. The problem is, last time I went and hit... Oh, wait. Okay. Hang on. Okay, no, now the CPU is having a hard time. I think something's just broken at this point. Yeah, because we're going into slideshow mode again for whatever reason. Anyway, I guess I'm saying you don't necessarily need to buy Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 right now. 2020 is still excellent. It's amazing. The only reason I'm not just playing 2020 is that the career mode is awesome. I really love built-in career mode. I'm excited for it. I hope they do good work for it. Again, like, shout out to third-party career mode stuff that I've played with before that unfortunately I can't remember the names are. There's a couple of different free ones. There's plenty of paid ones for career mode. But you know, it's an external tool. I love the idea that it was just integrated, so I didn't have to fiddle-faddle with an external tool that sometimes had its own glitches. Yeah, no, the screen is still... Okay, the clock is ticking, although... No, not constantly. I mean, the chronometer's not meaning, so it certainly feels like the sim still isn't budging. I'm worried that we're getting some sort of divide by zero error. So, anyway, we're going to wrap up the stream here. We went an extra hour, which is great for my whole... I'm not recording as much right now because I'm trying to save my voice. Now, to be fair, this was nowhere near as bad as trying to read a bunch of dialogue in Crusader Kings and King of the Castle and stuff, but... Yeah, so again, apologies that there's been a slowdown on the YouTube videos. Trying to do what I can to manage and pace and stuff, but hopefully we'll get back to a normal schedule again soon. So that's what you get for messing with the space-time continuum. Exactly. So yeah, we'll wrap it up here. We're just going to Alt F4. And I guess, oh, we got a rated Kiss for Luck, who's an hour into our stream. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll see you on Saturday for something. Probably not this as much as I kind of want to be playing it. Probably for something else, but I don't know what yet. Bye-bye, everyone. Not a memory leak, but a memory dam burst. How come it's not taking my raid command? Has this been programmed by Microsoft and Asobo? Oh, it might have been because there was a commercial break happening that interfered with the raid. Let me try this again. It doesn't seem to be working. Well, let me just drop a link to Kiss for Lux and go and say hi to her. Okay, bye-bye, everyone.